right, good morning. Welcome everyone. Um, this is the Jew and Prayer Open Mic podcast, and today we are here with another amazing episode, and this one is mind blowing. And you know what we do always? We always bring you the best, controversial talks, and today we have another amazing one. One that's gonna spark some things in like I would say in the online community. But more interestingly, what interests me more today is that um we are not just doing the show today by ourselves. And firstly, let me just put this. Unfortunately, um Alfred won't be on the call today. I think he got some other things to catch up with, so it's gonna be me, but not just me, guys. We have someone amazing, an amazing friend and brother. Someone who has been in this journey with us from the very beginning, and I'm so excited to bring him on the show today. And he's gonna be joining us for us to discuss a very scary, controversial topic. And I mean scary because this is a very argumentative topic that is out there. This topic is something that people don't really find it easy to talk about. And, you know, it takes boldness to really talk about this topic. So, not to waste of time, I will bring him out right now, before I do some other, further introduction. So, um, there we go. Welcome to the show, Samuel.
Thank you. Good morning. Good morning to all your listeners that following you live this morning. Good morning to everyone watching this morning. Let me just introduce myself. I'm
Go ahead.
Samuel.
Go ahead.
I'm Samuel, uh, originally from Buchanan, Grand Bassa County.
Nice.
So all the
Nice.
Bassa people watching, shout out to y'all. So yeah, man. Juice sent me the text. He want us to discuss the topic. I don't know why he chose me to discuss the topic specifically, but um, I'm glad to be on the show to give my input. So hope we
Yeah.
have an amazing show.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I mean, it's I'm excited, and also I want to say thank you for accepting our invite. I don't know either why, because this topic is so interesting, and I was like, okay, I need to figure out someone who, have an experience, because we are all here in the diaspora in the US as well. I'll say, and we are students. We also have some other personal experiences out there. We interact with other people as well. So, you know, um, getting your perspective and your understanding of what this particular topic we are talking about is important. So that was the whole mindset behind it. But again, thank you for accepting the invite and for being here. And
Yeah.
not to waste you guys time, today we're gonna be discussing this topic. Is school a scam? I know many people have their own side of the story. Okay. I mean, there are a lot of people out there that might say yes. I mean, honestly, to be real, I've heard the saying a lot of times that school is a scam. Let me just put it plain
Hmm.
plain. But there is a flip side to this story. There is a flip side to this, to this argument.
Hmm.
Um, but we're gonna be looking at those, as we go along. But let's just kind of give our own broad perspective, not conclusiveness. Okay, we're not concluding things or concluding the argument to say, okay, yes, it is or not. But in an ideal world, based off your own experience, and I also give my own input based off my own experience as well. Before we start delving into the various points and tips we have, do you think um that Oh, I mean, and like I say, it's not a conclusion. You could just put it out there, broad, likewise myself. But what is your saying when it comes to that? What do you think, or how do you feel when people say this to you? Like, or maybe just say it on a general, like maybe you're passing in here and people say, how do you really feel or react when people say this?
Uh, when you sent me this stuff that you wanted to do this topic specifically, quickly registered in my mind about the essay that I wrote in my English 101 class. I wrote an essay on is college really worth it? And
Oh,
my thesis was that college is not just the place we go to get degree, but we go to get like a vast amount of life experience,
right.
and you know we make like lifetime friends and all that stuff. So for me, the topic actually hit home. That essay was actually argumented essay. So I love to write argumented essay. But
Right.
yeah, for me, I believe that education is not a scam. Yeah. So as we go forward, we can actually explain that. 'Cause I guess that's what you wanted to know my perspective. So I think
Yeah, yeah, just a
education is,
broad perspective. Yeah,
yeah,
and
especially
I
as a
do.
college student too. So yeah.
Right. I mean, I do agree to you. Like you said, being a college student and myself also, I'm a student as well. But the issue of this argument is very is narrow. Okay, you cannot. There isn't like a balance. Maybe there
Mhm,
might be, but it would take like solid, uh, you know, evidence and things like that to really create that balance. And looking at the both side of the story, there are evidences everywhere that can attest that okay, it is or it is not. But for me,
mhm,
I would say that I think it's just this. It has to do with how you see it or the effect it has on you. Okay, and what I mean
mhm,
by the effect it have on you, um, we can give so many examples and narratives and on about people who don't have solid education that are 100% successful on a
mhm,
clear. Okay,
mhm,
some of them drop out of high school, some drop out of colleges, universities, and they are mass successful. They don't even have that they can boldly say, "Hey, I do not have any kind of educational backing."
mhm,
As it relates to my success. On the flip
mhm,
side, there are many and numerous successful people who have educational backing, and
mhm,
in the middle, there are people who have some level of knowledge, and that came from the education side, whether it's college or high school or whatever, who are successful. And on the blind side, there are many people who are not successful either from due to their education backing or not. So that's what I said. It has to do with the effect they have on you and how you see it. But again, we're not gonna just get this ball right here. We got a lot of things to talk about today. And
mhm.
again, this is the Jew and Fair Open Mic podcast. And we want to say welcome to our show this morning, wherever you are watching us from, whether Facebook, YouTube, or Instagram. We want to say welcome and thank you for tuning in this morning. Let's hear from you too, audience. This topic is not just us to talk about. We want to hear from you guys. So you can put your one or two input in the chat and comment as well. We will be glad and excited to read it out to the rest of the audiences out there. But thank you guys for joining, and I'm happy today to be here with my own friend and brother Samuel, who will be delving into this amazing and controversial topic with me. So let's kick it on the first I would say subtopic we have here. Now, the case against traditional school system. Okay. Now let's establish a fact, okay? Education is important. School
Right.
is important. We are not ruling that out to say that, oh, don't go to school, or when I'm telling anybody in the audience that out there on the online community that do not go to school or school is not important. No.
Mhm,
100% fact. School is
mhm,
important, and we are living witness. We are living
mhm.
benefactors of it. All right.
Yeah.
But there is a traditional norm out there.
Mhm,
And what I mean by traditional norm, there are a lot of things that people look at, contrarily, that make them to create the feelings or the mindset that sometimes if you look at education the way it is or the way it is being put out, within our environment, in our system, sometimes it feels like it's not worth it. And what I mean, we will look at
mhm,
some key points here, right? And the four key points here we have is that school does not teach the real world skills. Okay,
Mm.
that's the key point. Now, again, this is a traditional norm that we all know about. So, just before we go further, let's hear from you, Samuel. What do you have to say about this? About school, not ready a place that people can learn the real world skills.
Uh, I don't know. I don't know how. I don't know if I agree with school doesn't teach
Mm-hmm.
uh, real life skills, because I do know that there are a lot of things that we learn in school
Right.
that we do use in the real world. You understand me?
Agreed.
So for me, I believe like things like being on time,
Mm.
turning in your assignment on time, critical thinking, working in group with other people. Those are real life skills that you get from schools. As
Right.
like for example, we that are in college, right? A lot of the time, especially I'm working as I'm going to school for information technology, right? So at
Mm.
time we have like projects that we have to work on, and we have to work in groups, right?
Right. Right.
I experienced this before, okay, and I'm gonna give my confession on this. So we had this
Let's
project
hear it.
one before in school. We had this one project in school before, and a lot of the guys in the group, they were like very knowledgeable on this thing, and I wasn't. So I just leaned
Mm.
back and let them do a lot of the work, right?
Right.
Because like I didn't know it, so I never text them. I never reached out to them. But do you know what happened today? I still don't even know that thing up to this day. Even though I got the good grades, but
Right.
like up to this time, I still don't really understand the work and all of that stuff. That goes to
Hmm.
say that, you know, if we in real life, right? If you at a job and you lean back and you don't if you don't work in your groups that you're supposed to work in, what happens if that group start working with you? What
Mm.
happened is that you don't even know how to do the work anymore.
Yeah.
You
Right.
trying to
You're
figure out and
limited.
all that stuff. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so I do believe like school in some way teaches people real life skills and all that stuff. But I don't know in what sense that school doesn't teach. That's what it was good. It's going to be good if we going to have other somebody on else on the show that doesn't
Exactly.
believe
Right.
like that
That does not
idea,
believe it.
so I
Right.
can get the perspective on that too. But for
But
me, I can really think about anything that like a real life skill that school doesn't teach right now. So
okay, let me put it down in the perspective. Let me kind of narrow it down a little bit. So let's say, for instance, all right, many of us go to school, we learn a lot of jargons, a lot of things like
yeah.
Pythagorean theory, calculus,
Hmm. Hmm.
and this one and that one. A lot of these things are not apply in the real world. Like typical
Hmm.
example, right? For many of us, let's say for some of us that find ourselves in the diaspora right now, like let's say in the US, I forgot diaspora. I like using diaspora a lot, but because I like to
Hmm.
narrate to US alone before people feel somehow. But for some
Hmm.
of us that are in the US that um have to know certain, maybe let's say certain skill set. Let's say, for instance, how to file your taxes,
Hmm.
how to build wealth, how to do some other
Hmm.
things, the things that will kind of benefit you in the real world. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
A lot of these things are
Hmm.
not taught in school, and these are things that when many people leave from school, they get a face out there, and all
Hmm.
we learn in school is, I mean, like you said, punctuality, how to work
Hmm.
with a team, which are also real skills that
Real
can
skills, yeah.
benefit you, right?
Hmm.
But there are a lot
Hmm.
of things out here that you
Hmm.
face in
Hmm.
reality that you are not taught in school. That is the
Hmm.
basic of um of this conversation right here.
Okay.
Right.
All right, I got you now. So with that, what you just said, right? So I'm thinking because you said something about like, okay, now I agree with that. I'm
Right.
now I understand that, right? Because um, in school, a lot of the time they don't really teach like these things that like the essential things that we're learning, like we do in the real life. That's what you're saying, right?
Right. Day
So,
to day
like you
things.
said,
Right.
taxes and all that stuff, right? But does that equal to it being like a scam or something?
I mean, again, this is like I said, is it's a discussion.
Okay.
My own view on this, I must say,
No,
um,
I agree with you. I agree with what you're saying,
right,
but
school does teaches people some skills that affect you in the
mm-hmm,
real world that you can use
the
in the
real
real
world.
world,
Mm-hmm,
but like when it comes to data essential skills, like things like, let's say for instance, like many people don't even know how to even tie a knot or a bolt in their home. Like that's something small. They don't even know how to repair it. They don't literally don't have no idea when it comes to that. I'm not saying because let's say for instance we have the like technical school and we have like
mm-hmm,
a vocational school and a traditional school, which is like the regular school, colleges and stuff we go to. And technical school and vocational schools are places that you learn all of these technical skills and stuff. But these are things that
mm-hmm.
benefit people in their day to day life affairs than jet these jargons and other things that we
Yeah,
learn in school. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So,
yeah,
but again, it's just like we said, and like I'm saying, it just has to do with how you ready. I mean, there are other people that go to school that know how to do these things too. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Therefore,
but yeah,
how you go about learning stuff and how you go about doing your own things too as well. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Right.
yeah. So, I believe that we don't really get all the knowledge that
Yes.
we use in and outside the classroom from school. I do believe that. I don't believe that everything that we know we do learn it in school, right?
Yeah.
Take for example here in the US, they don't really teach the Bible, right? They don't teach the Bible in
Mm-mm.
school, but
Okay.
they're like outside of school, we learn the Bible, we learn to read the Bible, we learn to like do other stuff. So for those out there that believe like, oh, education is a scam, and because of this reason, because it doesn't teach real life skills and all that stuff, I want you to look at this, right? There are a lot of things,
Yeah.
there are a lot of things that you know from outside of the classroom that you don't learn in school. And it's
Mm-hmm.
okay because school has its own traditions and norms. Do I
Right.
think school should have like an open mind, like we said, that like some school they have to learn how to teach people financial literacy, right? The
Right.
things you were talking about, like filing your taxes, how to save your money,
Manage
how
your
to
debt.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and all that stuff. You know, school have to go towards those things, like
Right.
teaching students those things. And but that's what we also have things like college people go to, right? Where people go
Right.
to learn like a specific thing. There are people in school they're there for finance, there are people there for marketing, there are people there for a lot of other things. So the
But
traditional high school, the
but
traditional high
Samuel,
school will not give you
come a
yeah,
little bit, right? Can I come a little
yeah,
bit?
yeah.
So would it be benefiting that these things be taught from the earlier stage instead of just learning them in college alone?
Go ahead, repeat that again, sorry.
So will it be benefiting for these like real life skills and things we are talking about, right? Like
Hmm.
financial literacy and all of these basic skills that people need for them to be taught from the earlier stage from school, like let's say from high schools and primary schools or whatever before college.
Absolutely yes, absolutely
Okay.
yes. Because let me tell you something, when you go to college, right, that's when the real life starts.
Right.
That's when life like kick you in the butt. I listen, in high school, it was very leading. Like you lean back, like you don't really do that much of a stuff
Mm,
compared to the way you do it in college, right?
right.
In college, you have to now be responsible for yourself. You understand me?
Mm-hmm.
You now like you now juggling like jobs and school and all that stuff. So I believe like from high school, high school should be able to teach students things that are going to prepare them not just for the real world but for the next stage of their life, which is the college part. You
Right.
understand me? So yeah, college. For me, the high school I went to during my senior year, we did have financial literacy class. We had a
Mm.
financial literacy class, but there are other lot of other classes about real life things that I think you know school can include as well. There are other
Right.
things, not just financial literacy, but there are other things. Oh
Right.
yeah, and another thing, and another thing we learned from like middle school and high school, we had like they had like this baby project, right? Where you have to take like the baby, like an egg at home, and then you learn how to take care of that egg, and it helps you in life, like about a kid. Like if you want to have a child, sometimes it teach you, oh, maybe I don't want to be a parent at an early age. Maybe I
Right.
want to be a parent one day and all that stuff. So yeah, that's another
Yeah,
stuff
give you that
school
foundation,
teaches.
that
So
basic.
yeah, yeah,
Mm, that's good. But I mean, our conversation is not just limited to the US alone, okay? Like just kind of let
yeah,
make it basic, right? Because um I mean we all come from Africa, okay? You and I we from Africa.
yeah,
Not everybody, okay?
yeah,
You and I we from Africa, specifically from Liberia. And
yes,
looking at the educational setting in Liberia as compared to the US is 100. That's a huge gap, big difference, big difference. Curriculum wise, the systems, the setup, and everything, like it's totally different. There might be some similarities, but it's completely different. But now looking at this conversation, right, and looking at this discussion, how the way it is going, right,
mm-hmm,
how would you, what would you say, looking at the system? But I don't know if you really went to school in Liberia before moving here. I think I doubt that if you did or not. But I went to school in Liberia, graduated from high
mm-hmm,
school, started college even before I came to the US. Um, it's different. Okay,
mm-hmm,
it's different. Yeah, like a lot of these things that we are talking about, that maybe like, let's say for some of these skill set that we are mentioning, that you just told us about, that these are things that sometimes they kind of start teaching you guys from the beginning and stuff like that, foundational level. These things are not plain blank. Anybody can prove me wrong. I mean, the line is open. I mean, your comment is there. You can comment and prove me wrong. But these things are not taught in Africa. They are not.
mm-hmm,
Our education system back there is just do your 15, 16 subjects. If by the grace of God you can pass it, you can pass it all your subject and move to the next class. Bravo.
mm-hmm,
If you can't, you're gonna get a real decorative report card going to the next class, which some of
mm-hmm,
us really had a fear of really, obtaining, and we had to push ourselves down the line to keep ourselves studying. But then the downside is that you're gonna do all these 15, 16 subjects in
mm-hmm,
school, you
mm-hmm.
graduate without even remembering not even five of the subjects. You know what I'm saying? So it's, first of all, it's frustrating. It's
Yeah,
just like a complete waste of time. And that is the reason why many people have the mindset that, you know what, this thing is nonsense. Like it really does not pay out. Like you will see people go to college before they even start knowing what they want to do. Like
right.
before you even get out of college, you should know what you want to do based off your strength and
Yeah,
your skills. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like
right,
let's say for
right.
instance, before you got out of high school in the US, I believe one way or other you already knew what you were good at and
Yeah,
where you wanted to go. Am
yeah,
I right?
right. Yes.
Okay, but it's not like that in Africa. It's not like that in Liberia, bro. Like you graduate, like imagine do the 16 subjects, 16, and you gotta pass all those 16, bro. You gotta be good at all those 16 in the very first place to you pass all of
Right,
them. And
right.
sometimes people just study to pass, or maybe use the shortcut to pass, and at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? No, it's serious, bro. At the end of the day, they don't even know what they want for themselves. Like you see a lot of high school drop out back there, and so, what we are saying, bottom line here is, I think there are some things that need to be changed, not just the US,
Right.
because maybe things
Mhm.
might be a little bit different here, but like
Mhm.
the global world, like the entire world, like most especially from where we are from, I think that there needs to be some level of changes, within our system back there.
I absolutely 100% agree with you, Juicy.
Right.
I did go to school in Liberia. I went to school
Okay.
from you know kindergarten up to up to 8th grade in Liberia. So
Okay.
I
You got
do,
basic. You got
I
knowledge on what I'm talking
yeah,
about.
yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Uh, the schools in like if we're gonna discuss it, it's just the whole bargain because,
Yeah.
oof, Liberia is a whole new planet by it's a whole planet by itself. Uh, things are really really being done in that country like so differently. I
Yeah.
think I remember I remember when I came to the US here first. I used to argue with people a lot that school in Liberia is really difficult, and they're like, "No, school is easy in Liberia," and I'm like,
Mm,
"It's not
it's not.
because the amount of limitation that we have in Liberia is very 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 hard for you to learn in Liberia."
Yeah.
And this thing about telling a kid that they're because they're not good at certain thing like certain subject in school or they might fail in like in the classroom, that means they're dull in school. I promise you that those kids are not dull. I know children, I know kids that came from Liberia that weren't good at school in Liberia. They came to the US and they were doing very very great in the classroom.
Mm-hmm.
I was in like middle school here. I saw that. You understand me? I saw kids like doing really good. The thing about Liberia is, like you said, we have to do all of that subjects, right?
Right.
And they don't really teach like they don't the teachers only teach for like test, quiz, and all
Mm,
that. That's it.
exactly. Right.
Over here, the these people have the system like no kids leave behind. They can leave no kids behind.
Mm,
They make sure every kid had to make it to the next stage,
right.
right? So every time a kid is having problem in that classroom, or even the way the curriculum is set up, it gives a lot of the student chance to even pass that class because
Right.
they have pop quiz, they have different quiz that they can grade, they got homework that they can grade, and none of that stuff. But in Liberia, the only thing we really learn
One
in school
shot.
is like, huh?
I said like a one shot.
One shot. The only thing we really learn in school is like, oh, come to school come to school and get a grade. I mean,
Yeah.
we actually believe like this system in Liberia in school is a place where students go to read and write.
Mm,
I always heard that when we're in Liberia. So it has become a norm that we have in Liberia where it's
yeah.
like, oh, school is a place where we go and read and write. But I promise you, school is not the only place you can go and read and write.
Yeah. Yeah. For
Like
sure.
you can actually learn from whom and all that stuff. So if we get out of that mindset, like, oh, school is not just a place that we go and read and write, but we go to like learn like things about the real world skills and all that stuff, is
Right.
gonna be like very great for us. But Liberia is a
Awesome.
whole different planet by itself.
That's awesome. I mean, that was great that we expanded on this point a little bit, to get the
Hmm.
balance. But, we still got some other points here to discuss. And the next one here that, that has to do with the case against the traditional school system that people look at, which is the student debt trap. Um,
Mm,
and this one, I mean, I will kick it up with this one because
yeah.
I'm one person coming and being offended by this one. Actually, I think the issue of this student loan thing is kind of insane. To be honest, um, I understand that the system is set up in a way that it create that level of affordability for you to be able to follow your education even when you don't have the financial support, but the way in which it is being done, there are a lot of people, and I mean, in reality, because I started my schooling here from college up to now, right? Like I didn't do high school and
Mhm.
all these stuff, but from college, and even prior before I started pursuing my bachelor's, I did some other like I kind of prioritized some other things as well, like going to do some other technical trainings and
Mhm.
internship and apprenticeship and all of these things just to get the basic and get my feet dirty before I really start the traditional college thing. And one person I had in my mind that, you know what? first of all, I had a fear of student debt because from the way I understood it and the way I've seen a lot of people, and I mean people in the U.S.,
Mhm.
not Liberia, because I don't think they really do student debt in Liberia, but people in the U.S., a lot of people that graduate from school, colleges, and university tend to work only to pay back student debt. Like you got like, let's say you have your own personal expenses and other stuff, right? Plus student debt add onto it, like it becomes very insane. It becomes bulky, and sometimes it pull a lot of screen and weight on a lot of people. So due to that, I already had it ready to my mind that hey, you know what? This my whole school thing about to start. I'm gonna mess around with no student debt thing. Like I'm gonna try to take advantage of maybe because my work the place I work had like a student subsidy that they gave certain percentage or certain amount of money for school. So I decided to take advantage of that. But then it reached a point where that I had to do more courses and the money wasn't sufficient to add on to
Yeah.
whatever I was getting from the federal government, and I had to go do student loan, and I'm like, oh my god, this is the thing that I didn't want to do. So you
Yeah.
know, these are things that people look at, and sometimes on the flip side, right? Let's say you go in, let's say for some of us in our field of study like cybersecurity, even though cybersecurity is a
Mhm.
demanding field, but it is a challenging feat to get in, bro. To be honest, I've been studying cybersecurity for the last about 2 years plus now, dude. It is a challenging feat to get in. Very challenging. That you can have all the certificates you want, the bachelors, and they have people out there who have been in this field for 10, 15, 20 years. You know what I mean? They're like the
Yeah.
godfather. They got the skills and everything, and
Got this.
they
Yeah.
make it harder, for
Yeah.
people who just coming in the thing and want to get our feet dirty and
Mhm.
wet and stuff to really get in. And imagine you have accumulated over 30, 40,000 in debt just to get your bachelor or your master, and you can land a
Yeah.
top paying job. It becomes a
Mm.
problem. You know what I'm saying? And that's
Yeah.
that's that's the number one argument out there that many people try to post like, hey, um, yes, school is important, but the way the system kind of go around, or this way the system is built around the school system, to kind of accommodate students, it becomes challenging for other people because
Mhm.
people go to school, get 50, 60, and imagine that the minimum, um, let's say, student debt people can occur in this country, the minimum is up to $37,000.
Hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
37
That's the
grand.
minimum.
Imagine the
Yeah.
minimum you could get as a student debt, for let's say for whatever degree or maybe like high paying job degree stuff. It's 37 grand. Bro, imagine you accumulating 37 or 40 grand on your back, graduating from college or university without a job.
Right.
How much screen that can put on you. So, just as some of the things that people look at, and they kind of like have that mindset that school is sometimes it's not worth it, it's a scam, they're trying to fool us, put us in out of debt, they want to make us go broke, and work for the government, all that stuff. So let me hear from you too, what you have to say about this.
Yo. So I am literally I am also I mean I'm not in the year, but like it seems like I'm going to go into it. So I've been doing my associates for some time now, and God's willing, I'm going to have my associates this May.
Oh, great,
Uh
congrats.
yeah. And then try to move on to the next stage to get my bachelor. Now the thing
Right.
is in the community college it's easy for you to pay the tuition. There are other
Mm-hmm.
like financial things like financial help that you get and stuff that I'm getting that has helped me to pay for this whole associate degree
Right.
thing there, right? So I'm good on that end. Now going to the next stage for
Mm.
me now to get my bachelor, especially to the school that have to take me, like you said, school like we that in the technology world, right? You were doing
Right.
cybersecurity. I am doing information technology. So we are like almost like the
Mm-hmm.
same thing.
Yep.
Uh so it's a especially in New Jersey, it's not that much of a school that can take
Yeah.
that really have information technology for me. I know for cybersecurity there are a lot of schools in Jersey that do have that. But for me,
Mm-hmm.
there are only like limited amount of schools that I can go to. And those schools, they're either like top level schools that charge a lot of money,
Yeah.
or a private school that doesn't give like no, that barely give scholarship and all that stuff. So for me, it looked like I'm going to end up having like this whole, I'm going to go
Student
into
debt.
this whole depth thing. And I remember when I was when I was in high school, I kept telling myself like I don't want to go into like
Yeah.
student loan debt, because a lot of people in the US who have student loan debt always cried about this. They're like,
Yeah.
their life would be 10 times better if they don't have, if they don't have student loan debt. So
For sure. Yeah.
yeah, I think the way, like you said, the way the system is set up, it's set up to like trap people into like this huge amount of student loan debt. I mean, if we discuss in the US though, because if
Mm-hmm.
we try to expand, it doesn't, it this don't work like every other places. But
Yeah.
in the US, you were in school, like the field that we're in, right? You have to have certain like type of degree for you to get like good job, good paying
Yes.
job, and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like for me, like with my associate degree, I can get a job. Like I can get a job. Like if especially if I go for my certificate, my A+ certificate, I get that, I can get a job. But what is that job like? It's going to
Yeah.
pay. It's not going to pay you
Salary
that much.
gonna be like
Yeah,
37, 40K, which is even
yeah.
less
You're
than what he's
not
gonna be owing.
right. Right, you're not gonna get that much money. So,
No.
but if you get like a bachelor, like a master or something, you get
Yeah.
like a good money. However, for you to get that bachelor or masters,
Mm-hmm.
it takes a lot, like a lot of money. And a lot of other college students, we're not even said making $20,000 a year to repay of that tuition. Most of the tuition, I'm looking right now. I'm looking for schools to transfer to, and I'm looking at these tuition. Yo, these things are
Yeah.
costing like $30,000 a year.
Yep. Yep.
And I'm doing 2 years for my bachelor, right? I'm gonna do 2 years for my bachelor.
Right.
Multiply that. How much is that? 60 grand.
You gotta be spending good money, bro.
60 grand. And I'm like, where in the world do I get that money from?
Yeah.
Like,
And you
I,
can, the downside, you can pay out of pocket too. So you left with no choice. That's the
you
thing.
cannot, because
Right.
there's absolutely no way you can pay that out of your pocket.
No, no,
There's
hell no.
absolutely no way. The first semester you have to pay $16,000. The second semester you got to pay another $16,000, which is like
Right.
around 30. Is roughly around 60,000 or more, right? But like,
Mm-hmm.
and all of that stuff. And I'm like, there are a lot of things.
Yeah.
But let me advise a lot of other college students out there, right, that might be watching this live and stuff. Look, find a school that you can afford. A lot of
Right.
students don't know that. A lot of kids, when they graduate high school, they want to get out of their parents' house,
Mm.
right? Look, let me tell you something that nobody will tell you. Adulthood is a scam. If you rush life, life will rush at you. You
Oh yeah.
understand
Hell
me?
yeah.
Stay in your parents' house, go to school, right in the state you live in. If you go to school right in the state you live in, it's 10 times better than when you go
Yeah.
out of
You
state.
got a chance. Yeah. For
It's
sure.
it's way 10 times better when you go out of state, because if you go out of state, first of all, out of state they charge you out of state tuition, which
Yeah.
is higher than in state, right?
Right.
You also have to live on campus. That all that money is included. It's
Mm-hmm.
included in the tuition.
Situation.
The
Right.
tuition start to go up. It start to go up. You have to pay for meal on campus. All of that thing is going up. If you get scholarship, if you get a full ride scholarship, hey, by all means, go out of. If you want to go out of state, go out of state. Even if you get a full ride scholarship, listen, try to do instead that you can get a full ride scholarship too, because it
Right.
helps you a lot. You stay right at home, you get free food and all that stuff. So yeah, don't let the system trap you into that debt, right? Where you,
Yeah.
like I saying, even though the system is there to trap you in, sometimes you have to beat the system.
Yeah.
Honestly, sometimes you just got to beat the system. You have to find a way around things and all that stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, is that was awesome, Samuel. That was awesome. For you providing those advices, and that's the purpose of this show. Like we always say, we are all expert in our own experiences, and it is good that you share some of these things because these are things that many of our young people out there don't really know about. You
Yeah,
know, you graduate from high school or from college, or let's say from high school, and you want to go into college, and sometimes you have all these amazing opportunities coming at you, Harvard reaching out to you, MIT reaching
yeah.
out to you, bro. Yeah, they reaching out to you, but it ain't gonna be free for a long time, dude. It
Ain't
ain't
gonna
gonna
be
be
free.
free.
Ain't
So,
not gonna
you
be
know,
free.
yeah, you gotta get that substantial financial backing, you know what I mean? Like you can just, oh, I'm
Yeah,
gonna, yeah, they got a lot of brain and smart people in this institution too as well. So
right,
you're not gonna be the
right.
first. So you
It's
have to
not gonna
weigh
be
the
the first.
cost, the consequences of taking some actions because, bro, the way the system is built, especially for the school system here, colleges, university, it is all about putting you into debt. That's it, regardless
Yeah,
whether you like it or
it's
not.
about the money.
You will say, oh, I'll get financial aid. Yeah, you get a financial aid, but trust me, you're gonna be at a certain level. The financial aid can make it. It
It,
can make
it
it,
first of all,
bro.
the financial is not going to pay all that money off
No, they're not gonna do that.
because the federal government. Think about this: there are millions and millions of students in school over here, right?
Right.
So they're not going to give you so much money that they can't even pay other students too. So they're not going to give
Exactly.
you all that money.
Yeah.
They're
Right.
not going to give you all that money. So
Yeah, that's the notion. A lot of people, a lot of people get like. I mean, again, we're not trying to say that it is wrong to make a decision to go to college. It's not. Everybody is a good thing to go to school. Getting education knowledge in this country or wherever is important, and we're gonna discuss
mhm,
some of the great benefits that come with it too as well. But what we are saying, sometimes it's just good to weigh, the cost. Sometimes, and these are things people look at and they have the conclusive mind that education is a
yeah,
scam. Education want to,
yeah,
it's just all about trap and this and that. But
yeah.
sometimes the positive side, and we're gonna look at that. But going down the line, this one too is very important, which I think this one really kind of resonate with me, and the reason being is that um as we look at our world right now is evolving. Okay, we
Mhm,
got AI, we got
mhm.
IoT devices all around here. Hey man, we got smart AI now. Not just AI, but smart AI now that can literally like to tell what it's even more smarter than even we the humans. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
And
mm, mm.
looking at the way how our curriculums are built, I mean, I'm not gonna say much about the US because I think it kind of flowing in line, even though it's not 100%, but
Mhm,
there are some things that they're trying to adjust a little bit,
mhm,
within the
mhm.
curriculum, especially for colleges and
Okay, yeah.
university. I'm not too, I'm not know much about high school, um,
Mhm,
but colleges and university now that you must see they are offering courses that have to do with AI that teaches you AI and how to learn,
mhm.
um, all these robotic stuff. But looking at like Africa for an example, like for our country, right, Liberia,
Hmm.
like it's
We should,
just
let's put
crazy.
that
Yeah,
let's take this, let's take that
right.
topic
Let's take it
over
back
there.
home. Let's take it
Yeah,
more back
we're
home because
there.
100%, like the curriculum back there, if you really look at it for long, like 1960 or 1950 something curriculum posted using, which is absurd. It is like a disaster. Like
Yeah,
you could, bro, there was, I mean, and maybe now with the little advancement and people minds and eyes are opening up to teens, but like from the traditional setting part of the high schools part of it, people don't know anything when it comes to like all of these things that are going on in the world right now. People still
yeah,
learning things that were taught in the 50s and 60s and 70s that does not make any relevance now. That's
yeah,
why you see most of the children graduate now. They don't even know, they don't know anything about computer, bro. They
yeah.
literally don't know anything about computer. They don't even know how to boot a
Yes,
computer. They don't even know how to
yeah,
type on a computer. So,
yeah.
the war is advancing, but if
Mhm.
he's like, I don't know what on our side is like, why the war advancing, I always going behind.
Yeah,
I mean, we don't have to castigate our country or make our country low bad or make our
yeah.
education system low bad. Some of us we benefited from a lot of good things back home, and it kind of help
Yeah.
us a lot, equip us a lot to be who we are today. But
Mhm.
Looking at these things nowadays, there are a lot of things we need to catch up with. You know, and I'll pause a little bit. Let's hear from you, Summer, what you have to say about this.
So I have a brother that is going to school in Rwanda right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he and I were on the phone the other day. We were talking about like his schooling over there, and he was like, "I'm having a little problem with like the computer." And mind you, he's in college right now, right? He's in like college over there, right? It's like I'm having problem with the computer. Like I don't really know how to work the computer yet, so I'm still learning that. And I'm like, and it's clicked my mind. I'm like, yo, I know Juicer, you got a child, right?
Mm-hmm.
Watch in 2 or 3 years, your child is going to know that computer
Oh yeah.
way more than you.
Oh yeah.
That's how much things are being done here at a fast pace compared to like Liberia, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is why like country like Liberia is still very much struggling
Yeah.
because they don't really put good into the education system in
Yeah.
Liberia. One thing
Mm.
that grows one thing that grows a country uh 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 economic system is education,
Yes.
right? I'm
Yes.
taking a macroeconomics class, and that was literally like said like education and vocational schools. It helps a country education economy and stuff like that because
Right.
if we have educated people that knows like good job, they can put a lot of things into the economy, build a lot of stuff and all that things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And things like that. So but in Liberia we don't pay attention to that. We think I don't know how we want to grow our country I want to go out grow our country economics over there, and we don't pay attention to that.
Right.
Like I remember coming to the US here,
Mm.
right? And somebody said, man, when we were in Liberia, school was so good, We had a lot of books. We used to read Blama and Conan Doyle. Mind you, these people were in the 50s and the 60s. And I said, oh yeah, and I was like, wait, you say so I said, wait, we
Sister
we
J
read
Blama
Blama and Conan
Colado.
Doyle as well. They said, wait, you're still reading Blama and Conan Doyle in Liberia? I said, yeah. So imagine up to this day, you telling me we cannot have new books in the schools.
Yeah. No
We cannot have
advancement.
new we cannot have new ways of
Mm.
of, of learning things like even the way we teach in the classroom.
Right.
You understand me? In
Mm-hmm.
Liberia, we don't even have, like you said, the curriculum, the system is so outdated to a point where we don't even take students out of the classroom. Let's say take them on a field trip.
Right.
Students that are in health science, like take them to the hospital to look at things over there and all that stuff. And this
Mm-hmm.
is like this is we're only discussing like grade school, right? Because I
Right.
believe like those like we discussed earlier, those things have to start from the grade school level and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
if students are not learning those things, like we still have the old ways of doing things in the classroom. We still have the old like books and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even say no. The probably still really blind man could not doing Liberia,
Oh
which is
yes.
which is very sad
Oh
because
yes.
it's like, yes, we had a great childhood with that. I read Black Man Conado from probably K2 to fifth grade, something like that, right? And
Right.
those were good books. But come on, man, let's change the game. Let other new students come in, learn new things, new books, and all that stuff. Let put new books into the schools. Let the government try to invest into like technology being in the classroom.
Yeah.
And like you said, AI is one of the things that is going to control the country whatever you see, that's what all these countries now they're fighting for AI, because whatever
Yeah.
country have that into the hand that
The
is
best
very
one?
good at it
Yep.
is going to be the superpower, which
Yeah.
is which is what the US is don't want other countries to have right now, because the US is the world superpower. And if that thing land in China hand, and China is great at that,
That'll
it's
be a
gonna hurt the
problem.
US. So you see, these people are finding every way to always
Mm.
be on top. to always control the
Right.
word, to always control things and all of that stuff. Why can't we do it? Why do we always have to have
Mm.
50 people in the classroom? First of all, let's change that also.
Yeah.
Let's drop it down to 25 kids in the classroom.
Right. The curriculum
Let's
is a problem. To be
yeah,
honest, it is a problem.
let's
Yeah.
cut down the amount of classes students learning in the classroom. Like we
Yeah.
said, we learning on 16 subject in the classroom. And that 16 subject, you gotta do it in a day. Jesus, you gotta do it in a day.
Right.
And when I was in high school year, the most amount of subject I have was like 5 to 6. That was the
Hmm.
most. That was the most subject. And I did not even go to those classes every day. It was some of the classes was every other day. So you
Hmm.
did. So imagine a kid had to go to school, and I think they go to school for 8 to 7 hours in school in Liberia, right?
Yeah.
Imagine you have to go to school for 6 to 7 hours in school, and you have to learn all of that subject in that one day.
Hmm.
I don't
Problem.
even I don't even remember what I did yesterday. That's how sad it is. I don't even remember what happened yesterday.
Uh,
So
hmm.
imagine a kid had to learn all of that things.
Yeah.
It's hard for you to learn those things. So, like we said, sometimes if people are making the argument that the curriculums are updated, that's what education is a scam. That is a good argument because we have to have a room where we open up things, right? Even in the
Yeah.
US here sometimes, like there are things also that needs to be changed in the classroom as well. Like
Right.
I believe some of the system where we only teach, especially in college too, right? Sometimes I see this in college, right? Some of the
Hmm.
professors they only teach for exams and tests, and I'm like, it should not be like that. Like,
Yeah.
give students the chance to actually learn the materials and know and put themselves into the lessons and all that stuff instead of like
Yeah.
some professor that come in class they teach 2 weeks later, they're giving tests. I'm like, give me the chance to put all this. Like, oh my
Right.
God, like,
They're
give me
not,
the chance,
they're giving you room to breathe.
Exactly. So they're not even giving you a room. So sometimes
Yeah.
some students have to cut ways to like
Yeah.
the cheat on those tests,
Yeah.
and all that stuff. That's what I like some professors that do a lot of their stuff in the classroom, right?
Hmm.
Don't get me wrong. I don't hate like homework and none of that stuff, right? But I believe like if you give student homework and to take home, especially in college, I'm going to go on the internet and try to find stuff about it.
Oh
You
yeah.
understand? I'm going to do that because if I don't get the lessons that if so I believe sometimes you have to keep it in the classroom where you
Hmm.
make students to be involved into the materials in classroom. You make
Right.
students to be interested into those things in the classroom where they're not just going to take like exam, they're not just going to take homework and all that stuff, but they can actually learn the things and all that stuff. So I had this one professor, she used to do what she used to do was like your homework grade was a participation grade. So you have to participate in class. You
Mm.
have to ask questions in class. You have to,
Right.
get input in class and all that stuff. And honestly, those were like the best class that I had because it actually allow you to be involved in the classroom. So where you're not
Hmm.
just sitting there and be like, huh? You confused. You don't know what to do.
Yeah. That was good. That was good. I mean, that was good, man. It's so interesting and exciting today. We have someone, a brother, a friend also, and friend who's gonna be joining us. Um, it seems like this topic today is so interesting. I literally
Yeah.
reached out to him this morning, you know, and I was like, hey man, we have this discussion going on, and Samuel gonna be on the show. And he's like, oh yeah, man. So you want to have on? He's like, sure, why not? So, I know he's ready. He's ready to roll. He's always been ready, always ready to get it going. Um, and um, and I'm gonna bring him on stage. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. My
Oh,
own, my own
What's
brother
up,
and
my G?
friend.
what's up, lad?
What's up, player?
Welcome, my own brother and friend. Let me give you a few seconds to introduce yourself. And I know you've been following the show, and although we have probably not very far, but we already deep in the discussion, and I know you have been following. So let's hear from you. Introduce yourself, and let's hear one or two things from you before we can move forward or expand more.
I'm just sitting back enjoying the topic. Well, my name is Lemmy Winker. Based here in the U.S. These are my boys, man. These are my brothers on the show. When I received the text this morning, even though I was a little bit caught up, but
Right.
I had to respond and kind of join the topic because this is a reality issue.
Yeah.
I went through it, so it's better to hear it from people that is going through
Yeah.
it than for
Hmm.
you to kind of sit down on a show and listen to Mr. Motivator motivating you when you never been through it before.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
it's funny.
So it's better for you to hear it from the mouths of people that is actually going through the issue or going through the situation. At least when they are sharing their experience, it
Right.
would it's gonna at least bring out the truth in the system. So
Yeah.
I've been enjoying the topic, and it's a great conversation to bring out, especially to the young people out here, and for the young boys and girls that is all hot to go to college right now. So they can just take a little bit of step back and think about it before they
Think
join to it.
about it.
Because for me personally, I have three other siblings in my house right now, and I have one that is about to join to it. And we've been
Mm.
Hmm.
kind of doing some research on colleges and stuff. So, myself, I had to learn too, that.
Alright.
Yeah.
So that's good. Just before we go far, and I'll put that to you, Lemuel. I mean, I don't want to say that we brought this discussion out at the wrong time. Which I mean, I know there are a lot of people out there who at the crossroad right now of getting into colleges or universities or high school or things like that, and a lot of people don't really understand this, and like for what Summer and I have been talking about, the issue of student debt and school not teaching us the real life skills that we're supposed to know, other than just a traditional learning thing we go there for, like learn all your mathematics and all your science terms and terminologies and all of these jargons, and which get people mind blowing, like, okay, I learned all these things. What next? You go out there, you can't even apply 10% of what you learn. You know what I'm saying? So, um, let's hear from you too. Like, what you have to say about this? Even though you are following the topic, if school was scam. Um, but the issue of school not teaching the real world skills that people need to know about, and also student debt. Let's maybe just take a few minutes and expand on a little bit. What is your take on that?
I mean, I had an issue with that too, bro. Like, to be honest, let's just take it back a little bit. In high school, when I look at it, I feel like this high school was supposed to be teaching us how it's gonna be getting out of high school, going to college.
Right,
We never experienced that to say, oh, a teacher already put them in the class and be like, yo, it's gonna be this is how it's gonna be, and
right.
let's teach you guys how to manage yourself when But no, you have to find out by yourself,
Hmm.
and it's very hard on young people, especially when you're coming out of high school. You are so eager to go through this, and it's sorrowful that you have to learn the hard way,
Yeah.
no matter what you do, because of how the system put it. And
Hmm.
it's yeah, it's kind of depressing because high school determine where you're gonna be,
Hmm.
and
Right.
a lot of kids don't have the strong mind to stick to it. That's why sometimes it's frustrating that people just get turned the left way and they think that if you don't go to college, that's gonna be a downfall, and
Hmm.
that's not it.
Right.
That's not it. But it's a beneficiary thing to go to college. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's great, but the issue of not teaching the skills, man, that's how the system was built. I can't you can't change it. You can't
Right.
change it. Nobody else can change it because at the end of the day, if you're applying for the job and probably people see on there that you went to college and you graduate, that's a good thing on your resume too as well. But
Hmm.
going through the system of taking math that you're not gonna use in your future, it's
The
just a
thing
part of what you're gonna it's just a part of the requirements of being in a professional world.
right.
Yeah, so I mean, that's just it's hard to explain. That it's hard to explain because you
Right.
can't. Yeah, you can't change it, bro.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. I mean, like you said, it's good to hear these things from the house's mouth themselves.
Yeah.
We all here, we have our fair share of school, and we still into it. Some is a college student, a perspective. IT professional is gonna be learning his associate sooner. We are in the same thing too, pursuing what we're supposed to pursue, and the system that we say is just built in a way that there are some things you can't escape. Um, and there are some things that people might look at that they will see as a default in the system that might affect them, maybe encourage them or discourage them. Um, which are things that a lot of time people don't even know. Like, and just like the Summer said, adulthood is a scam. Many of us are not even really taught about how to be an adult, growing up. Not from our, and I think we had an episode on that before, um, where we expand on that topic, and for sure. And again, these things people don't find it convenient to talk about it because how people are gonna look at you, like, okay, what are you trying to say? Why are you trying to prove? It's not like we're trying to
Mhm.
prove a point, but these things are things that people need to know about because there are
Yeah.
many young people out there that are going into colleges or university without even knowing what lies behind all of these things, you know. And there are other people too who don't even want to go at all because they have this fear and mentality that it will be a waste of time. You know what I'm saying? So, like we said,
Yeah.
to every bad side, there is a good side. And even though we have discussed, you know, the depth and curriculum and all of these things, but then the big question is school really a scam? You know what I'm saying? Is it really a scam? But that is just a question. Okay. Now, how can we determine that? Now we gotta look at some of the good side, even though we are talking about the bad side, but we gotta look at some of the good side, right? And one of the
Mm-hmm.
things we're gonna talk about here are some careers require formal education. Which I might kick it off a little bit just so that everybody can get an understanding of this. There are careers in life,
Yeah.
regardless of whether you want to accept it or not, you have to go to school to be skilled in it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say, for example, you cannot learn how to be a professional surgeon on YouTube. I don't see no the university or YouTube that are going to teach you how to be a professional surgeon. Impossible. Bro, that
You'd be
human being left you
surprised.
going to play with. You can put YouTube video on your be looking at it and say, all right, cut over there. And you say, all right, yeah, that cut, right? Yeah. Oh, hell
That
no.
don't that don't care. Just say put it in your heart.
Right. You're going to mess with someone's life that's going to destroy you and your career for life. So, these things, obviously, you have to go to school to learn them. Let's say banking. There are certain things you have to learn, in order to be a professional banker or to work in a banking environment, in the banking sector.
Mhm.
And so many things and so many things. Even though there are other skill sets and careers that you can learn outside of school and it can make you successful, but there are a lot of skills or a lot of careers that you might need formal education for, which makes education to be a benefactor for it. We make education to be very important for it. All right. So I'm not gonna say everything. We're gonna go around the table and expand on a little bit more. But let's hear from you, Lemmy, because you just joining us, and then we'll hear from Samuel. What do you have to say about this?
Like you said, it's a good side and it's a bad side. For me, I would not
Right.
really say it's a bad side, but it's just you just have to know what you're going into. That's all. But for
Right.
the good side of it, like you said, bro, surgeon, you can learn that thing from trade school. That all.
No.
You can. You have to go through these years, six. You have to go through 4, 6 years of learning
Mm,
how to do these things. So
mm,
it's a great thing. I'm not gonna lie. I have a sister, my older sister who went to school here. Like she was in school. She went to 2 years of college. Then she transferred to a D1 college where she had to stay another 6 years just to become a
mm.
nurse. Now she's going for her doctorate. So it's like it's a great learning process you have to go through before the people can trust you to be able to handle these tools or to handle these major responsibilities.
Right.
Like for instance, for me, I'm the number one person that don't talk about politics. But if we're taking it back to our country, that all,
Mhm.
Mm,
that all. You know how many people that we have lost in Liberia because of post service?
Yeah. Mm.
Huh?
Word. Word.
Because the care is not there first of all, and
Yeah.
the
Like
the
skills.
the skills is not there. So the basic thing they know that all they're gonna apply. Put you on
Mm.
drill for 3 hours and for your system with so water. And the person is
So
laying on our bed, need urgent care. But how would
Right.
they do it? They put on they most of them don't know. I'm not trying to shame our country, but this
I
is
don't know.
something that we have seen.
Reality.
Yeah, we are shot in America here, and yes, say our loved one he heading to the tomorrow to get in the hospital. Boom, we don't see that.
Mm. Yeah. Mm.
So it's something. School is very important for every role are you going to apply to a job or for certain responsibility or for certain place you want to see yourself in life.
Yeah.
School, if you go to school and people see that experience or job see that experience that you're applying for this, and somebody who get 50 certificate and they see somebody who has been in school for 6 years,
Yeah.
you apply for that job, they see somebody who has been for 6 years and they got that bachelor's or that degree, that they will pick that person.
Yeah. For sure.
yeah,
They will pick that
Mm-hmm.
person so that the kind of world we live in right now, the professional world right now, people are looking for the experienced people.
Mm.
They are looking for people who are educated.
Yeah.
Before they will start, if they don't find those people on that application list, that they will start going down the line and looking for certificate people. So it come with great benefit if you go to school and you get. It's not a scam. It's not a scam.
Yeah.
But at the
That's
same
good.
time, don't
Mm-hmm.
hold yourself to that standard that if you don't go to school, you're still not gonna achieve great things. It
Okay.
mhm,
Mm.
the
Yeah. For
world the
sure.
world that we live in are making it so simple that they have a lot of things out here you can still do and you will still
Mm.
end up with
mhm,
a professional job.
Yeah. 100.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean it's a
100.
lot to say, but I'm gonna just back up
That's
and let
that
my
was
cousin.
awesome. That was
Yeah.
awesome.
And let my cousin
Let's
go
Go.
hear from
ahead.
you. Let's hear from you, Samuel. What you have to say about this too?
Yeah, that was good. Let me. So see. First of all, you'll be surprised a lot of things are being taught on YouTube. So
Oh yeah,
you'll be
yeah, yeah.
surprised. Some,
One
some,
hundred percent.
some doctor is
I
teaching
wanna
people over
do.
there how to do surgery.
It's true.
you'll be you'll be surprised. But don't mind that and say, look, I'm gonna go to YouTube Academy, okay?
Oh no,
Go
no,
to
don't
the
try it.
classroom, okay?
Don't try
Because
it.
Okay.
no hospital is going to ask you what is your certificate from from that college. You say, oh, I went to YouTube Academy,
Yeah,
okay?
YouTube
No, it's
Academy,
not going
right?
to work. So
No.
yeah, you have to have like some formal educations. Even to go to college, right? You got to go through like high school. You got to learn like the basic things in high school and all that stuff to like
Right.
go to learn about certain careers. So don't even skip out on the high school thing. Some people like some kids that we knew in high school drop out and say, you know what, I'm going to go for my GED. Uh, and then I just gonna go to high school. But look, you're going to be missing a lot of formal things
Yeah.
in the classroom. You're going to be learning a lot of things in the classroom that you're not going to get from that 6 month, because the GED, you're just going to do a 6 month study, and then you take a test and you pass, and
And yeah,
you get your
you out.
diploma, right?
Right.
But yeah, there are a lot of things that you're not going to learn in the classroom. Sometimes you're gonna have you're gonna have trouble even like learning those things on your own to take that GED test. So a lot of like career, even for you to learn that career, you need a basic education that is going to greatly help you in the future. Like let me say, there are a lot of people that are applying for jobs and they cannot get a job because they don't see that college on your resume. And
Right.
sometimes you go to apply for a job, sometimes like they look for the level, they try to see your level of education, like you
Mm.
said, right? Some people, take for example, you at apply for an IT job and you coming in with a master and I'm coming in with a bachelor degree. and we both had the same experience. Sometimes I don't even take the experience. Sometimes some school will look at your master and say, "Okay,
Oh
we
yeah,
trust this guy. He
look at
knows
the
what
criteria.
he's doing." So
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna take you compared to my bachelor and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So promise, like let me say, sometimes you don't have to go to school. Not you don't always have to go to school to be successful in life, uh, but I would say that look, go pick something, pick something that you can stick with,
Right.
that you can go out there and get jobs, that you can get like a basic job that can make you good money, that can help you like live, you know, out of financial stability, right? So
Right.
pick yourself a career that you can go to school for, you can get a job and all that stuff. We are in the IT field, like there are jobs over there, but sometimes the jobs is very hard to get. So
Yeah.
uh pick something that you can do and stay in school, learn those basic math and all that stuff, because you're not listening, right? So like I said, when I was in high school, I never did any like technology thing, like no IT stuff. First of all, I wanted to go to school to be an architect, right? So
Right.
I did a pre-architecture class in high school, uh, at Trina Central High School. So we learned those things, right? But
Mm-hmm.
when I switched my major, in college, right? I find it that first few semester, it was very difficult for me because like I never knew nothing about like the technology world and all that stuff. So all those
Right.
basic informations, like especially when we got to coding, I
Right.
promise you, like I was working with guys that those kids came from high school. They already know a lot of things from like about like coding and all that stuff, and I didn't even know it, bro. Like I was like,
Right.
yo, how these kids already know all this stuff, and I don't even know it.
Right.
I was like, I was struggling a little bit and all that stuff. So like you want to get those basic and formal education from high school, from college, because if you don't, it's gonna greatly affect you if you want certain amount of money, you want like, certain kind of jobs and all of that stuff. So pick yourself a career field that you can learn about, especially in high school. If any parents out here watching this, try to get your children in those things. Like try to like talk to your kids, what type of career field they want to go in, tell them to start like researching those things, try to learn about it, try to take some college classes while they're in high school, because I know some high schools if we're speaking about the US, some high school in college, in some high school in the US, yeah, are offering classes for a student to take in the colleges. So, talk
Right.
to kids so they can like take those college classes that can give them like basic information on those career field that they want to go to. And if they're in the career field, if you're in the career field, try to also do the internship. The internship helps you a lot because
Yeah.
you know the jobs you're going into. You know how it is. You get to learn
Mm-hmm.
firsthand on everything.
Mm.
Something
Mm.
that you probably not get from the classroom.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. 100%. I mean, everything you guys said is true. I do agree to everything you said. Again, as long you want to be someone, I mean, you can be someone of relevant or great importance to the society, regardless of whatever career path you want to take. I think it's just all left with whatever decision you want to make. But you don't just have to rely on YouTube or just some other place of learning. And, like sometimes it's good to get the formal education, especially if it has to do with career that of high standard. Like you want to be an engineer or you want to be a scientist or doctor or something, like you're gonna learn all those things just from. I mean, you can learn it from most learning platform, but it's gonna take you a lot of time. And people not gonna base your criteria or your credibility, on those platforms. No, nobody
Yeah,
gonna trust you.
yeah,
You bring certificate from 10, 15 or online learning platform, Udemy and
yeah,
Coursera or all of these things, and they say, oh yeah, they measure professional data. Hell no. Hell no,
yeah.
they ain't gonna take that risk for you, bro.
Even you can learn those things, right? But like we discussed earlier, right? The job is going to be like sometimes they're not just looking at the degree, they're looking at the schools you went
Yeah,
to.
exactly. Right. Yeah. It all based it look at that to base to kind of balance your credibility, which is true. So um take advantage of formal school, that and that's just some of the importance, you know. And the next thing here is networking and opportunities. Um the importance of networking is very broad. And I think this is something that um sometimes you don't just learn it from the classroom or from school alone. I think you can learn networking and have some level of opportunity from anywhere. It can be from your job. It can be from any professional environment that you find yourself in. And that's the limitation that many people too sometimes have, is that uh I would say this is one of the advantage. Before I go to the limitation, this is one of the advantage that school kind of provide. That means that you can be able to create an opportunity and a networking environment for yourself. Because, for instance, um, other than the online learning side of it, which somehow get a lot of limitation, but if you're in a traditional school, where college or university, where you go to school in person, you get to interact with a lot of people. And sometimes it kind of benefits you if you today or tomorrow graduate, and you find yourself in a setting where you see your classmate or your schoolmate who is someone of important in our environment. It create that other advantage for you. So these are some of the importance too. Like, you're not just going to school just to learn everything from college, or just learn all the book you can learn, or all the jargons and whatever. Sometimes you go there to get some connection, which helps a lot of people out in the future. Um, and not just that alone. Sometimes you learn networking from your professional environment, like from your communities, and maybe other areas that you find yourself interacting with people. It creates that balance, so that you don't just look at the traditional school setting to just be the only place you can learn networking from, or you can get opportunities from, but you can get it from other places as well, if you do take advantage of it. So it is important. And there's a saying, they say your network is a net worth. The way you network with people is sometimes create a platform for you that tomorrow you can become successful in it.
Yep.
You
Yep.
know, you can become a better person based on how people see you. It also creates some level of credibility for you, because people can vouch for you. Somebody can see you out there and say, "Oh, I know that guy from college. I know that guy from high school. Or I know that guy from this place. I know that guy from that place." And just because of that, people can be able to trust you, or entrust you with certain responsibility, because of that network opportunity that you have based, or created for yourself. So and this goes a long way too. It goes a long way, and it kind of benefits you. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, but it just depends how you go about doing it anyway. So let's hear from you, Samuel, and then we hear from Lemuel. What you have to say about networking and opportunity?
Listen, for the young people that might be watching over there, for the young people that might be watching over there, that are on the show, I'm telling you, you are in the classroom with future presidents,
Oh yeah.
CEOs,
Mm,
uh, doctors, and all that stuff. Just remember that you were in the classroom with future presidents, CEOs, doctors, and all those people, lawyers, and all those people, right? Make friends with them is very, very
yeah.
important, because
Mm,
those people are going to, you are going to need those people in the future one day. In
yeah.
the future, one day you are going to need those people. And that's one thing we get in the classroom from the school, right? We get to be with those people that we don't even know that one day in the future they are going to be those people that I just list. They're going to be those
Mm,
CEOs, and you might want a job one day in the future, and your friend might be looking at your application, or one of your friend might be working at HR, might be hiring,
mm,
might be
right.
on the hiring committee and all that stuff. Those people are going to be looking at your application, and when they see your applications, they are going to they are going to vouch for you. But also remember too, now your networking should not be a bad thing. You should be networking at a positive level, because
Yeah.
if you are
Mm.
just a horrible person out there, you everybody you see, you don't like them, you hitting on them, you doing all those things. Trust me, the person see your application in the future one day, they'll just put it in the trash. They're just gonna put it in the trash. So you wanna network at a positive level, so you open a lot of doors and opportunities for yourself and
Yeah.
all that stuff. Even like when we coming out of like high school, right? Coming out of high schools, like applying to the colleges, right? Sometimes the high schools, sometimes the colleges, they're not just looking at your grades, they're looking at the way you were involved in your high school, like things that you were involved in,
Mm.
like your clubs and all that stuff. So they know that you're not just a good grade person, but you know how to work with other people, you know how to interact
Right.
with other people and all that stuff. So those networking things are very important, and we learn that in high school and in colleges and all that stuff. Yeah.
Great, man.
Yeah, awesome. Let's hear from you. Let's hear from you what you have to say.
Man, my man Samuel said it. Oh man, remember? Hmm. Yeah, but the issue of networking for me, I'll just be the number one person to say when few years ago,
Okay, yeah, we got a little break in the. All right, he's back.
I'm sorry, y'all. Can you hear me? All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the kind of person that was very stuck up when it comes to networking. I feel
Mm.
like, damn, when I say the wrong thing, especially when it comes to the professional world. Oh gosh,
Yeah.
shouldn't say the wrong
Mm.
thing. What am I going to say? I don't want to. I don't know what. Sometimes just be yourself.
Yeah.
Don't
Mhm.
overthink it and say I can't go use the BB training and money people and then they go and see that professional people and start
Mhm.
looking or in the dictionary and talk. It's just a simple introduction you start with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
ain't gotta go there and be doing all kind of simple introduction. You see, like for instance, you 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 in a little forum where you see people talking, professional people. You don't, just hey, how you doing? How you doing, sir? Basic introduction. My name is this. My name is that. Like, what are you into and stuff like that. It starts like that. And like
Mm-hmm.
Samuel said, sometimes it starts in the classroom and stuff like
Yeah.
that. When you see yourself in a place that you just socialize. It comes with socializing.
Mm.
Networking
Yeah.
is socializing. If you don't know how to
Yeah.
socialize, it'll be difficult for you to network.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's so hard sometimes for me, especially when I was coming up. It was hard for me to open up to talk to people and stuff like that. But if you put yourself in certain a situation or schooling, sometimes it comes from
Mm.
encouragement. Like for me,
Yeah.
when I was in college, hell no, I was not a socializing person. First of all, I get in class, I thinking how the professional come scatter my head and get out of there. Yeah, I ain't get time to make friends at all, to be honest with you. But
Mm.
when I was put in this program that I was taught how to come out of my shell and talk,
Mhm.
that I can be eager to meet people to talk to them this time.
Mm. That's
I
good.
can be so eager to talk to people, to introduce myself, to introduce my role, and to hear
Right.
them speaking so I can kind of give myself opportunity to be like, okay, this is what I want to do as well. So
Right.
it's just you coming out of your shell and just you exploring yourself out there, you know. And our word make it easy this time.
Hmm.
They got online apps, they got LinkedIn, they got all kind of professional apps that you can socialize on this time. But you have to start within yourself. You have to start from classrooms. Like Samuel said, you have to start from there. You have to start
Right.
from the surrounding you find yourself in, how you can stay yourself out there. So
Hmm.
it's just a opportunity of you just finding yourself in the right forum and just speaking. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just let me make this one point quick, okay,
Go
right?
ahead. Go ahead.
So this is like an experience that I'm gonna get, right. So
Hmm.
I remember when I just went to high school, like let me say, I was just not high school, but when I just went to college, it was like that, right? First of all, when I go to class, right after class, I get on the bus, I come right back home. I I used to do that. I promise you, I was having so much trouble.
Hmm.
I was having so much trouble that some of the things that I didn't I was so afraid to like talk to people. But I remember this one friend one time, he just called me like to play Uno, you know? I
Hmm.
never knew how to play Uno. and we just started playing Uno, and I started meeting a lot of people, a lot of kids. So sometimes, sometimes some of those people you're going to meet, right? They're not just going to help you do your assignment. Don't get
Right.
that into your head. They're not just always going to help
Right.
you do your assignment, right? But always put yourself in an environment where you can experience growth in
Yeah.
everything you do. Put
Mm.
yourself in an environment where you can experience growth, where you can have growth and all that stuff, right? And when I went to play this game of Uno with these kids, all of these kids, they wouldn't when they come to those group, they will be talking about, oh, my assignment, I have to finish my assignment, like I have this amount of work that I have to do, they be talking about the classroom and all of that stuff. All that thing started motivating me to like be into school. Mind you,
Mm.
when I got into college, when I was like having a little bit difficulties, like I didn't even want to go there. Like I started thinking like maybe this whole college thing is not for me, like maybe I should quit this whole thing and just cut it a day. But then when I started putting myself in those environments where kids were like talking about those things, it didn't just it didn't just help me, it motivated me to start
Mm.
being into like this whole college thing, because like some kids were like out the door by the graduate, and they already had jobs listed for them, and I'm like, yo, I want to be like that in the future one day. Like I want to get this degree thing and have
Right.
jobs waiting for me in the future and all that stuff. So like always put yourself in an environment, right? When it comes to this networking thing, put yourself in an environment where you can experience growth. If
Right.
not because you're saying, oh, networking is good, so you must just go. You
Right.
see
That's
any
cool, bro.
you see any
Just
bumps,
sit
you put
by and go
yourself with
to it.
them. Yeah, because it's not going to help you. Put yourself in those environments that you you're gonna see your grades going up. You're not just you are not people that are not just going out. You're not just going out every
Right.
time you're partying, you're doing this thing, you're eating, and all that stuff. But in an environment where people are thinking for the next level,
Mm.
people
Right.
are building themselves up. People
Mm-hmm.
are working, people are creating opportunities, people are learning new things, they are bringing out new ideas that can help you. Like I said, when I was in those places, when I was in those environments, especially when those kids started calling me to play Uno, like when I just play Uno, in that play, I remember telling somebody in the group asking me, look, how class, man? And I'm like, man, bro, this whole college thing is so difficult, bro. Like he was like, bro, sometimes you just have to develop a steady hour for steady habit for
Yeah. A
yourself.
steady
And I
habit,
didn't
steady
even know how
routine.
to develop a steady habit for myself. And those people
Mm.
in those groups that are helping me, like, oh, sometimes you have to devote yourself. Like, if it's for me, I used to think like, if you study, just pick up your book, your computer one day, sit down and do things by yourself, right? But somebody told me like, look, you don't always want to stream yourself, right? Do the amount of hours that you can do. Sometimes if it's 10 minutes, do just that 10 minutes. And all
Right.
of those things, I started experiencing it. I went from 10 minutes to 20 minutes to 30 to
Mm.
to 50. So I started putting myself in those groups that were helping me, those environments that were helping me. So
Right.
like being friends with people that were helping me develop like good habits and all of that stuff. So it helps you.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, these are all great points. I really love you guys. All the points you guys are giving, and I mean, all I can say last today before we move to our last discussion here is, just find that sweet spot for yourself. I think everybody will one way or the other get a fair share,
Yeah.
or whatever left choice I think. I have my own fair share growing up. I think I benefited greatly from the year up program that let me recommend it to me because I was when I was coming up to I had that shame. Like I can
Uh-huh.
see myself on live on shows like interacting with people where I feel like bro, I used to be like solo, bro. I sit down, do my stuff, I'm out. I never know too much talking how it done. Even how I
Done.
used to say you don't get it from me. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get time for too much talking, but then gradually developing that skills, interacting with people more. And sometimes you don't want to talk to people, but people want to talk to you.
Yep.
And you sit and
Yep.
you see your friends coming at you like, hey man, how you doing? Where you from? Where you like? Yeah. Man, I'm here for all the talk,
Yeah, you
the
don't want to
discussion.
get
But yeah,
hyped.
yeah, what's up with y'all, man? Y'all can just be by yourself, but they want to talk to people. And and there are people out there that want to interact with other people too as well. You just gotta make yourself available for,
Yep.
for someone to talk to. And gradually, I started becoming loose and interacting. I started taking up group projects and heading groups and stuff. And even though I had a fear, I still had a fear, but it gradually went away. And I was someone that at the end of the day, my instructor was like, "You came in, you was different, but you going
Yep.
out different."
Yep.
And it kind of really helped me a lot. So networking is good, and I think you guys really said everything about it. Like find yourself into a group. It's not just about your going out parties and doing other things.
Right.
Sometimes let
Right.
the group make impact into your life too. Benefit from them, learn from them, find a surrounding that are a friend or friends that you guys can impact one another. It should be like not you it shouldn't be like a gray out thing. Now you can be the one receiving everything from your friend and you get kind of impact them too as well.
Yeah.
You gotta give and take. You share knowledge and ideas and which is good because and that's the beauty of us, young people here, like especially for our surrounding, like me, you, Lemuel, and some of our friends we have here. Every time we meet, we have something to talk about. Positive thing to talk
Right.
about. We discuss family side, we come to school side, we come to other things, struggles and other things that we're going through, and we talk about it. And everybody leaving from that, from that environment, got something to go home with. And
Yeah.
we go like, bro, it was good meeting you today. Yeah, we ready kind of hang out, even if we're not meeting all the time. But a little time we have, to meet as friends and brothers, we got something to
Right.
talk about.
Right.
Everybody go home with something important to think about and something to move and talk about. So, it is great. And that's the beauty of networking, because man, tomorrow this man already bought a whole his associate degree. Sooner or later, man gonna be a master or bachelor holder. You must have to be like, okay, you know what? I'm going to summer company. I'm going to apply. I'm gonna,
Right.
some kind of position there. It ain't gonna see her and say, nah, I ain't know those guys. No. On the flip side, it can be anybody else that we know. You know what I'm saying? So we just need to put ourselves out there. And I know many people will say, oh, I'm an introvert. There's nothing wrong
Nah,
with being an
man.
introvert. But
Introvert is
sometimes
a
get
personal
out
thing.
there. Right. It's a personal thing. Be,
Yeah,
be
it's a
introvert in your
personal thing.
house. When you get out,
You get out, you
meet
out.
people. Yeah, talk to people. And and I always say this, the beauty of the internet in our environment, in our generation nowadays is so good. We shouldn't just utilize Facebook just for the scrolling and the liking and the
Yep.
posting. Sometimes use this medium to interact with people. They got
Right.
LinkedIn. And I always say this. We got LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook. These are social platforms. The reason it's so social because why it's interactive.
So
Yep.
yeah.
You know
So
what I mean? It's interactive. That's why that
yeah.
is where you go. You meet people, you interact with people, you get to talk to people, and you get to know people that you have never met in your life before.
Right.
And sometimes you can create a bond with somebody who you have never knew before in your life, but because of the way
Yeah.
you're interacted, the
Yep.
way you're converse and all that stuff, you can create that bond. I mean, that many of us will benefit from it, and I believe many of you guys as well. And it's just a beautiful thing to really get out there and get to know people and don't be a solo. Leave that couch alone, leave that couch alone, man. Get out there, leave that bed.
That warehouse too, that
Yeah, even at your job side, you
yeah.
can know people at your job.
People talk.
And the best place to know people mostly is places that you spend most of your time.
Yeah.
Let's say, for
Mhm.
instance, your school and your job. These are the two most primary areas, especially for us in the US, that you can network. The minimum hours a typical person can spend at their jobs is 200 hours. Don't tell me you spend up to 200 hours at a job and you can make one friend. Like, I, I mean, no, then your own body, you need special, like, special session for real. You know what I mean? You need special session. And even at school, the minimum you can spend in your school is like 80 to 100 hours on a
Yep.
minimum level.
Yep. Yep.
Imagine you being in that environment for all that time. Take advantage of it. Know somebody, interact with somebody, get to know someone's name. You
Yep.
know,
Yeah.
and,
Yep.
and one thing I like about the white people, and I mean, many people too as well, not just the white people. They are always curious to know. Like you'll be like, oh, they'll be like, oh, where are you from? Where are you from? Oh, you from Africa? Oh, you from Liberia? How is it like in Africa? Like what, how's life like they're just so curious that and that's the kind of curiosity mindset many of us, especially we young people, need to have. Be
Yeah,
curious to know things, be curious to try new culture, to learn new language, to learn new things. And these things can
yeah,
promote you, it create a lot of opportunities for you out there that you might not even
yeah,
know about. You know.
yeah,
So
Yeah,
right, go ahead. Anybody want to
yeah,
respond?
this topic of networking is just so huge. Like
We're gonna
personally
have
for me,
a special episode on
yeah,
networking
for real, like
family.
it's so huge. You don't even know how you can literally see a job passing right by you and you're not
Oh
even
yeah.
talking
that's
about
what
it.
I said. That's what I said. You're
Your
in the
future job is
classroom.
passing by you every
You're
day.
you're
Looking
in the
at you, looking
classroom
at it
with
passing.
doctors and CEOs.
All you
Yeah.
need to do is just say how you doing. Like, oh,
Right.
but you're looking at
Exactly.
it passing by you just because you stuck or you go somewhere, your whole head down thinking on how to get out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
You know,
but but
when you
guys,
went,
but guys, listen, right? I mean, we shouldn't make it sound easy. Sometimes it's
it's
not
not.
easy, bro.
Jusu, it's not.
Yeah, like,
It's
sometimes
not.
it's not easy, to be honest.
It's not easy, but
listen, listen,
it's
listen,
no easier way to go by it, bro. To be
Yeah,
honest.
yeah,
listen,
you're right.
listen.
You're
As
right.
the only way that's difficult as is the only way I see is difficult, especially is only when you probably have like a social anxieties, and a lot social
Yeah.
anxiety is a real thing, right? Where
Yeah.
people are very very anxious in the social space, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they can barely interact with people. For me, one thing that is still up to this day very difficult for me is small talk. Like, I don't
Oh
like small
yeah.
talk. Like, I'm that type of person. I'm not afraid to stay in front of a classroom and give presentation. I'm not
Right.
afraid.
Right.
But if somebody was to come to me and just be asking me like simple question, like, I can answer your question, but it's very hard for me to ask you back.
Yeah.
So like, I'm not very very good at those small talk. So like we saying over here, right? We're doing this podcast, to help, you know, young people out there that might be in high school right now, try to put their foot out of the door to go to college and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like, learn, try to make good friends, man. Try to be in an environment that give stop being in that library too much, especially the one that in high school. Not in
Yeah.
college right now. You always in that library. You reading, reading. Yeah, like, you don't really, like, you go apply for the job. The HR people will be asking you how many hours you were in the library for. They're not gonna
Right.
ask you that. They're
Exactly.
not gonna ask you that.
Mm-hmm.
Those things gonna help you pass in the classroom, but like we've been discussing here, the college, or especially schools, they're there to teach you like life skills and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Then schools do some in some way teach you life skills and all that stuff. So some of those life skills that we are talking about here is this networking thing, and it's
Yeah.
great because
Yeah.
you the teacher is not going to teach you how to network.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, but the school do provide you that
The
environment to
environment,
network and all
yes.
that stuff. So,
Exactly.
uh, that's something
Mm.
you have to take on for yourself.
Yeah.
You have to do. They do have like public speaking in classroom, but the public speaking class is not going to teach you how to do small talk. Like especially someone like me that's circle with small talk, saying like going up to somebody and saying hello, and that just going up to say hello to somebody can open a lot of doors
Oh
for you
yeah, a
to
lot of
just
those
learn,
for you. Yeah.
for you to
Mm.
learn things that you will not get from the classroom. Like you said, somebody might come to you and say, "Are you from Liberia?" And that person never heard about Liberia before, and you start
Mm-hmm.
teaching the things about Liberia. You start teaching them about the Liberian Civil War, the Liberian
Yeah.
government, and all that stuff. And people, somebody,
Yeah.
somebody learned something from over there that day. So
Yeah.
that simple hello you can go to say to somebody, it can open a whole new world for you. It can open a whole new thing for
Absolutely.
you and all that stuff. So
Absolutely.
sometimes, you're not gonna get those things from from the traditional classrooms, but because of schools and stuff, because at school we're discussing it, so because of school, that environment is going to open up
Yeah.
to you for you to learn those things.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, for sure. I mean, this just kind of make it. I think we might just establish a fact that I mean, school isn't just how people see it. Maybe
No,
it's not a scam at all.
it's not a
You know what
scam.
I'm saying?
It's not.
It's just the way it's structured sometimes it's not it doesn't work for everybody. You know, sometimes it works for you, sometimes it doesn't. But however, man, like, however side you see it or whatever side you are on, whether the yes side or the no side, you just need to find a balance. Like we said, that even all of these things we are saying, there are many people who didn't go through all of these, and today they are permanent people in society.
Yep.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
uh, there are people that even we that are going to the school look up to, and that's just a
Yeah.
crazy part because there are a lot of people who do. Sometimes I be like, the world is not as fair as we see it, and which is true because, bro, there are many people who don't have the traditional educational knowledge and system in them, and we that have everything in all go to them, run to them for some support and help. But that's how the world is, you know. That's how life is. Life throws things at you however it see it, and you just gotta accept it and work with it.
Yep.
So we got a last point or last discussion on the floor, but before we go to that, I want to say this is the June for Open Mic, and we really appreciate our audience following us to this time, and it's great having you guys on the show today for us to discuss this controversial topic. Um, and I mean, everything at the end of the day, we have to look at some alternative path, some other ways that you can be successful into this. Whether you want to go to the traditional school or not, or whether you want to find other path, but there is always an alternative to something. And you know, some of the things we're gonna look at here before we close is self education. Um, Sometimes, like we said, you may not learn everything from school. You know,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes the traditional school may not work for you. There are many people who start traditional school, and at the end of the day, they look at it and say, you know what, this ain't working for me. I'm going to trade school, or I'm going to do something else. And at the end of the day, it works out for them. It works
Mm-hmm.
out. Like when I came to this country for, I kind of weighed the option. Okay, should I join in this college right away, or should I start doing something else? I look at it like, you know what? Let me start doing something else in the first day. Let me get my hands dirty, get my mind moving, and get my brain turning. In the meantime, before I can make a decision to start pursuing something. And trust me, it worked out. True that I get to know a lot of people. It opened a lot of doors for me. I prioritized online learning platform. I started learning from online. I started reading some books, looking at some YouTube clips and things on how to do certain things, how to get certain skills, how to present yourself out there. And it's helping me even right now while I'm pursuing my bachelor's, um, I can interact with my instructor. Like if when I'm even speaking to them, like, I mean, we can kind of sense you got some accent. Were you born yet? Or you I know that like us people, yeah, I know we can survive anywhere.
You know
You
what
know
I
what I'm saying?
mean?
You know what I'm saying? It was because I kind of prepared myself, had the earlier, education and started something. So, let's go around the table. Maybe we take that 1-2 minute, have a conversation with this, just so that we can give our audience that time back. But yeah, let's hear from you. Let me what you have to say, like, other alternative path that you can take to be successful. Like we said, such as self-education, like how to do it, online learning courses, YouTube, books. Like, what's your take on this?
I mean, self education is something. If you're not started with yourself, how will you be able to go out there to learn?
Right.
Yeah. So it's there.
Mm.
It's just a simple thing. You sit down today and just coming. The self education start with you discovering yourself first of all.
Right.
You have to discover what you like as an individual. That's how it start for you to be able to
Right.
pick a major.
Mm-hmm.
So if you
Mm.
sit down here today, if you see yourself, be like, wow, like if you like before, like I'm telling young people before you go to college to go pick major, before your mind part there to go join civil engineer, to go join in doctor, nurses, and you find yourself to be somebody who don't even give a damn but needle, and
You
you
scared of
go
yourself.
and you go put yourself. So it's just about self discovery
Yeah.
and how it starts. If
Yeah.
you're in high school, you're somebody who just love taking care of people, you love just caring, go into a field.
Mm.
That's how you educate yourself at a self level. They make it easier for you to go in college to just
Yeah.
pursue your stuff because you don't want to go in college. I mean, it's okay to go in college to be undecided sometimes, but
Mm.
again, you don't want to waste your time.
Right.
Is to take,
That's money.
yeah, that money. Like Simon
Yeah.
said, to
Yeah.
go to school in the financial aid will not always be with you.
Right.
Financial
Right.
aid will hold your hand and carry you, drop it on your own. Yeah.
It
So,
will take you to the real world, not force you to drink.
exactly. So it's gonna be easy for you as an individual to start to discover yourself before you go into that real world. Because that real world it will run with you. It's not gonna wait for you to keep discovering yourself.
Yeah.
And I have most of us face it today that we enter into a place that we don't even know that we have
Mm.
never discovered before that that waste your time in college.
Yeah.
And
Right.
I what the college like. You go, you waste your time, they put making the money, bro.
Yeah. Right.
They
Make
like
it
that.
time. Yeah. That free school anyway. You pay
Yeah,
for
that's why they have
it.
the option of you going undecided. They have it.
Yeah.
And they will love it. You won't go to the year undecided, that's liability. They will keep
Yeah.
giving you courses that don't even matter.
Mm.
So just discover what you love to do. If you're somebody who love to be in the sport, you love just training, you love doing things, go into a course in college that will put you in a department.
Right.
So it's just for me personally, it's just about you discovering yourself, self-education, building yourself in a way that you can take yourself out there. Nobody else gonna know yourself more than you.
Yeah.
That's
Mm.
what they call it, self-education. Self.
And it leads to success a lot of the time
Yeah,
too. I
it,
mean, you
it
don't.
does.
Yeah, you don't have to only apply in the traditional environment. There are a lot of people that
Exactly.
learn online or learn by themselves by just reading, and they become successful today
Yeah,
without even a
it's
traditional backing, education backing.
exactly. It,
Yeah.
it lead you, it discover you, and it builds you to get into your future role and stuff like that. So
Yeah. You
it's
get
very
ambition for
important.
yourself.
It's very
Mm.
important to build yourself as an individual.
Yeah.
Don't wait for people to come tell you, say, yo, bro, I see this in you, you can't go do this. I mean, it's okay for people to do that, but
Yeah.
you have to back yourself up that you
Yeah.
can't be empty and just go out there. Anything they put in anything somebody tell you that what you were just wrong with.
Yeah, for sure.
And a lot of for me, I experienced it personally. I was going to college. I was the only thing in my mind was just to go in college to play football. I
Mm.
never had any major to say I would go into it and go pursue it. I would go into college to go play American ball. But because I have a traditional African parents that want they just sit there and say, wow. She look at me and say, oh, I see this in you. You are somebody that can go into
Yeah,
the civil
engineer,
engineer. I go put myself in civil engineer. And it was
right?
difficult. So
Right.
I mean, it's okay,
Mm.
but just like Jusu said, just build yourself as an individual, teach yourself, go take some things then I will teach you so that you can be able to go out there and do it. It's a hard. This is a world that we living in
Yeah.
that the society is running with us.
Yeah.
You know,
Technology
you know,
already advancing more
yeah.
than anything too. So
The
gotta
moment you
catch up.
start to live in the real world, you getting out of high school. You in high school, you enjoying yourself. You still a teenager. Your parents still looking at you as a kid. The moment you
Yeah.
get out of high school, now they looking your eyeball to say, "What you coming do?"
Yeah.
Yeah, they looking to say, "What you
Mm.
coming do?" And your first year in college, maybe you that won't let it slide a little bit, but bro, you already on your own now. You got to figure it out. It's
Right.
hard to say it, but it
Mm. That's
is
true.
just life.
Yeah. Let's hear from you, Summer. What you have to say? Let's hear from you for a couple
So
minutes.
so for the brothers and sisters out there that believe education is a scam, mind you, you're saying education is a scam. Okay, I believe the classroom in the schools are not just the only form of education that you can
Right.
have.
Mm-hmm.
Let's establish that the classroom and the traditional schools that we have, is not the only form of education that you can have. Okay,
Absolutely.
there are people that I know personally that went to YouTube Academy. I love to call it YouTube Academy because they basically learn everything off of YouTube.
Right.
That went to YouTube Academy that are working in places like the IT field right now, and they're
Mm-hmm.
they're making decent money, right?
Yeah.
Because those people take their time to educate themselves, right? education is very important. Like you
Yep.
said, the online courses that you can take, that's a form of education.
Yep.
Oh
I
yeah.
know I know Lemon did like a year up program and stuff like that. They got a some career field that they're doing right. They're into some career right now, right? That was like a form of education. I know you have to go through that for a certain amount of time to learn that and try to get that and get those jobs, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Those are forms of education. The books, reading is very important, right? The the more you read, the more you become knowledgeable and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's a self education that you're going to get by yourself. That is very, very important for you. So people out there that are like against education and say, "Oh, I don't need school. I don't need education." First of all, school is going to give you the basic steps to do that self education by yourself. Like let me saying, the self discovery, schools can provide you those things because if
Yeah.
you're in school, right? Uh, we that went to Trenton High, right?
Mm.
In Trenton High, they got different academy over there.
Yeah.
They got the STEM, they got STEM, they got business, they got health, education. Everybody was in the area. I was in STEM, right?
Uh,
So in STEM, we learned things about science, technology, engineering, math, and all that stuff. So there are kids out there that wanted to be doctors.
Mm.
They were into science and all of that stuff. So those basic science things you learn it in schools and all that stuff. So don't just think, oh, school is a scam and they don't teach you all of those things, but you learn the science, you learn the
yep.
Yeah.
business science and stuff, so what you want to do. You have a little bit of knowledge on where you want to go and what you want to do. So school give you that, first of all, that steps for you to go and
Right.
do that self education for yourself, the books for you to learn. In Liberia, we got like I said, we got the notion of school is the place where we go to read and write. So if you go to school, if you go to school,
That's
you
a
learn that
complete destination for school in Liberia right
exactly. There are
there.
people there are people in Liberia. There are people in Liberia, especially those people that are in the village. They don't even know how to spell their own names.
Yeah.
They need other
Mm.
people to spell their names. Some people that don't even know their birthdays.
Yeah.
They don't
Mm.
like people in Liberia that don't know their birthdays because they don't have those basic
Yeah.
education in Liberia. So you sometimes we need those basic educations that is going to help us to
Mm.
have those self education, like we can self educate ourselves, like
Yeah.
do those YouTube things. Sometimes you don't even know how to read and write. You don't know. First of all, if you don't know how to read and write, you can't even comprehend. So if you're doing that
Yeah.
YouTube Academy thing, you just over there watching some video. You don't even have no knowledge of
Not
what you're
understanding of
watching.
what. Yeah. Right.
So sometimes you need those basic education. So don't put it in your mind. Don't get it stuck in your head like, oh, I don't need school. I don't need to go to school to learn this. Sometimes you just need. Sometimes it's just the basic
The basic. Yeah.
steps. The
Mm.
basic steps to learn
That's
those
good.
things. To learn
That's
how
good.
to read. To learn how to read that book. To learn how to even say know what is about that career field. There are some people they're in certain career field that making good money. Some people that have their own businesses, right?
Mm.
Some people have their own business. They didn't go to college to do that thing. They
Yeah.
didn't go to college to have their own business. But if they're running that business, if you don't have some form of basic financial literacy, it's going to affect your business because
Yeah.
you don't know how to take your money up. You don't know where your money going. You don't know how you're spending your money. Sometimes it becomes an issue. Sometimes that end up you hiring people to do those jobs.
Yeah.
There are athletes, right? There are some athletes that went to college, right? Like let me say, some of them went to school to play American football, right? They're they're making money right now. Some of them, right? Let me tell you, they didn't even they didn't get that basic degree. They
Yeah.
can't
They
get
No.
don't.
that basic degree. So
Yeah.
you know what some of them end up doing? Some of them end up hiring
Yeah.
people to take care of their
Yeah.
finance.
The
Yep.
finances
And
and
what
stuff.
Yep.
happened? A lot of athletes, what happened? What ended up happening to them? Those people scam them out of their money.
Yeah.
So
They're not
you
knowledgeable
can
about
go
what's going on.
yeah, you can go over there and make that bucks amount of money. But if you don't know how to manage that money, if you
Yeah.
don't have the basic skills on how to, you don't know where your money going because you don't have the skills, it's gonna affect you.
Yep.
Yeah.
So always have it in your mind that yo, I want to learn the basic stuff,
Yeah.
the basic education that you're going to get from the classroom, that you're going to be able to teach yourself, is going to help you in the long way. So don't
Yeah.
just look at the money and say, I'm making money. I don't need school. I don't need school. I don't need to go to school. I don't need I don't know I don't have to learn how to show money. You know, so somebody
Yeah.
asked me this question once before. If somebody gives you $1 million, will you still go to school? And I'm like, I don't know. That's a lot of money,
Right.
but look,
Yeah. Right.
so
School is
don't let that
important
money
too. So
always fool
yeah.
you, right?
Yeah.
Don't let that money always fool you. Sometimes you might get all that money, but you don't know how to manage it. In a second, it
It,
can all go
yeah.
away.
It become a problem. Yeah. I mean, it's important also. I think what I learned from this also, in addition to everything you guys said, um, success, your success should not just be limited or shouldn't just limit you, to have that conclusive mindset that education is not important as well. You can get money.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people who did not have the traditional knowledge or education background from the beginning, and they begin successful. And at the end of the day, they go back to school to learn some basic
Yeah,
things.
yeah,
You know, how to manage their money, how to manage their wealth, how to present themselves and to their clients and stuff like that. So you being wealthy is not a limitation to you still or to you expanding your knowledge or acquiring some level of education. So success is not a limitation from what I learned, and it's good because many people think that's all. Like, I mean, like the question, some people say, if they give you 15 minutes, will you still go out of school? Yes, I'll go out of school. Why not? If I don't know how to manage that 15 million, that 15 million can get blown in 2 days. Because
Yeah.
I might just go buy a lot of stuff I can buy. And at the end of, do you know how many people won lottery? Like hundreds of millions. And if you look at it, you check the honest money in less than 1 year, all the money finished. And
Money
the worst
finish.
thing, the money will be 1 million before that hard call. They say, oh, well, now 15 million, but I only 1 million Leo there.
Yeah.
It's late because what they were not knowledgeable. They never had any kind of financial literacy
yeah,
in them, and they didn't know how to manage that money. And all the thought was like, okay, now I blow. So I blow, let me explode and enjoy my money. And then at the end of the day,
Yeah.
you go broke in less than a few times. So, it shouldn't limit you. That was good. That was actually a
yeah.
good one.
And just speaking of that 1 minute thing, for me, let put yourself into it.
Right.
I'm I'm doing a job right now. Imagine you working 40 hours a week. I mean, you paying your bills, you comfortable, but tell me now, are you in school? You hitting your head, you going to school today, and you win $50 million. First of all, the whole professional thing will go away. Your whole
Oh yeah,
self will
hell
come
yeah.
in. I win 50 million. What the else of me staying in school that all?
School, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's just it's just speaking as a nature thing. It's a nature thing that will come in.
Yeah.
You know, but on the long run, you have to sit down and think about it. Like
Yeah.
Samuel spoke about people who go into the NFL when
Mm-hmm.
they start up in school. Most people, I'm not trying to like body to shame them, but it's like it's a nature thing. Like you have the opportunity, you play in college and you have an opportunity, a contract come before you 5 million a year, like you gonna go play.
Yeah.
Even
Mm-hmm.
if you don't finish school. But like Sam said, you can manage that money because you have never experienced that type of money before to manage it to get the
Yeah.
experience. So
Mm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
most people do get cheat out of that money because they put it into other people's hands. Your whole
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
finance going to other people and because you feel like they are built to manage your money.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
And
your
I,
money.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's very
It,
important, like Sam said, it's very important to build yourself to give yourself that fundamental that
Mm-hmm.
when you start receiving that opportunity, how can you manage it?
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, it's very simple. I mean, it's not simple, but again, you got to think about it the way that it will help you in the future
Yeah.
because it's just about you just building like it's just about you building yourself as an individual. So you always got to
Mm.
keep that in mind. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That is 100% true, And that just lead us to our next tip here, discussion tip, which has to do with trade school and certificates, you know. And like we said, sometimes your education don't just have to be limited to a traditional school, all right? You can benefit from there's so many ways you can become successful. I mean, we can say trade school, sports these are things that can make people successful. It
Yep.
just don't. It's not just all limited to school alone,
Yep.
and these are some of the things that kind of get people down and feel frustrated and just lose hope that okay, you know what? Let me just forget this whole school thing and
No.
just do something else. There's so many ways you can become knowledgeable about things. There's so many ways you can learn. And now with the
Yeah.
advancement within our internet environment, our online environment, where you can literally get a bachelor or certificate from online.
Yep.
While even going to a traditional school, while even walking into a classroom, you can learn it from online.
Yep.
You just need to take advantage of it and create that time for yourself. Like I'm learning, my school that I attend is online because it's way in Utah. I learn from online. Even though I do almost 99.9% of my activities and education and I mean and school work by myself, but it created that flexibility for me to be able to navigate and do some other things.
Yep.
I'm doing school, I'm taking care of my families, I'm working, I'm doing some other stuff. And it created that flexibility. Should I say, oh, okay, maybe because I'm not this, so I should forget about school? No, sometimes, you need to take advantage of certain things, learn some certain skill set. And sometimes, like we say, it doesn't have to be the traditional school alone. You can
Hmm.
go to trade school. You can learn to be an electrician from a trade school. You don't have to go to traditional school to learn how to be an electrician. You can even learn it from on YouTube. What are you talking about?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? YouTube Academic can teach you how to become an electrician. I'm telling you. YouTube Academic can teach you how to become a good plumber. Bro, before you just stop teaching all your HVAC thing in your home
Yeah.
and training some schools and stuff. It can literally teach you a lot of stuff. So, it's not it shouldn't be a limitation. We understand the frustration, we understand the ups and downs, and a lot of things that we discuss. Like sometimes debt, people are afraid of going to debt. Sometimes because how the system is set up, some people don't want to be involved into those things. But on the flip side, you can still become a better person. There are a lot of successful people out here who just do their thing by themselves. You know,
Yeah.
go to trade school and they become successful. They are professional plumbers and electricians and even good engineers and IT professionals out here
Hmm.
that acquire that knowledge from other alternative sources. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So you just need to create that flexibility for yourself, find a sweet spot, know what you want to do, what you good at, or what environment kind of create that flexibility for you to learn. You know what I'm saying? So
Yep.
let's hear from you, Samuel, and then let me we'll closer on that, and then we'll discuss our last tip and wrap it up from here.
Yeah. So like we have been discussing, that school is not just the only place you can, you know, have an education for, or school is not the only place that require you to, have a job in the future, right?
Right.
I think I'll probably include this in my closing if we doing the closing later on. But
Mm-hmm.
school is the place that we education is very important, like we have been discussing. And so even if you're doing trade school and all that stuff, you are going to be in an environment of learning and stuff. So if
Yep.
people out there and say, look, the traditional classroom is not going to get me to that job faster, by all means go to a trade school, try to
Yeah.
do a certificate programs and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
If there are people out there that saying, look, I'm looking at the debt and I don't want to pay the debt and I don't want to get trapped into this debt, go and do a certifications program and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Right now there are at Mercer County Community College, they have a certificate program about web development, web and software development. That's the thing. That's the job right now. Those are jobs right now that are making buckload of money.
Yep.
To be a web designer, be a web designer, you can go and work at places like Google.
Mm-hmm.
You can work places like Google, and that is not going to cost you that much money. It's going to cost you money, but it's not going to cost
Yeah.
you that much money, right?
Yeah.
So, like we've been saying, if sometimes, like I stated earlier, sometimes you gotta learn how to beat the system.
Yeah.
Yep.
For
You
sure.
gotta learn how to beat the system because the system is there to trap you into this. Because a lot of people didn't get made their own money,
Oh
so
yeah. Everybody
yeah,
making money.
everybody
You know what I
everybody
mean?
must eat. Everybody must eat. So if you don't know how to fend for yourself, people are going to eat a lot from your plate.
Yeah. For sure.
You understand me?
Yeah.
People are going to
Yeah.
eat a lot. If you don't know how to Dutch people, you don't know how to Dutch the system, you don't know how to Dutch people, you're gonna eat a lot from your plate. So
Yeah.
put yourself into those. Those are still form of education. No, go to school, look at the tuition cost, and you say, look, I can be somewhere right now, be making. I can go to Amazon right now and be making a lot of money there. And this thing I'm doing right there, that Amazon job, you're gonna be working there for a long, long time. You don't want to
Yeah.
be bouncing from one job to another. But if you go and get yourself a trade school, a
Hmm.
certificate program, like I said, web development, software development. Look, you can even software development. You can even go work at Apple. You develop
Yeah.
apps.
Yeah.
You can go work at places like YouTube. Not, yeah, YouTube
Yeah. Even
and
YouTube. Yeah.
Google and all that places. Google is like one of the top paying job right now that you can go into. That's like my future job, to work at Google or somewhere like that, right? And
Yeah. It's
make that
good.
like good amount of money and stuff. So sometimes sometimes we have been talking here. Sometimes the people that are hiring, they might be looking for a degree, but sometimes they're looking for experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you get that certificate program, you get a starting position job at Google. You start building your resume up. You start building your resume up. You move from that starting position, they promote you to another step, they promote you. That's how it starts. And
Yeah.
sometimes if you leave that Google job and somebody look at your application, they see you work at Google, they're like, okay, this guy is good for the job. We're taking sometimes they might look at a certificate program and say, oh, but this guy been working at Google for what 10 years now. So why not hiring? They will hire
Mm-hmm.
you, my brother. Sometimes they will hire you even more than the person that coming from a college with a master's. I promise
Yeah.
you that. They are
Yeah.
gonna hire you
Yeah.
because they have seen you with this. Even though you don't have that master degree, you have the certificate, but they still look at that your experience in the place that you work. So sometimes the trade school and the certificate program, those are other form of education. Those are other forms that you can beat the system, that you can go to and get your experience and get your job and all that stuff. So why you can do it, why you, if you find a school difficult, or you find like, oh, maybe school is not like really like the traditional school is not really for you, put yourself into the trade school. Like we have been discussing, don't put yourself into the mindset like, oh, this school thing that's scam. I go work at Amazon, I go work at McDonald's, I can be making money at McDonald's. Some kids they're in high school right now, right? They get little McDonald's job. They think that's it. They feel like, oh, they're making money. Why do I need to go to school if I already have
Yeah.
a job? No way.
No.
Trust
No.
me. There's a
You know
lot of
yourself.
opportunities if you try to educate yourself more and more and more. If you try to ed- if you The more you learn, the more your resume get bigger. And we
Yeah.
say the classroom is not the only place that you can build your educational resume. There are other places that you can build your educational resume, like trade school and certification programs and all that stuff. So pass
That's
it on to
great.
Lemuel.
That's great. Let's hear from you, Lemuel,
Yeah, man,
before
it's
we get your
good.
final thought.
Yeah, that was a great point. Especially when it comes to topic of trade school. Trade school, a lot of people sometimes look at it as just you want to take the easy path. Nah,
Mm,
man, it's not. It's not even it. You know how many
yeah.
people I know personally that in college, but they still goes. They still take that certification
Oh
classes,
yeah.
and
Mm,
Right.
trust me, especially when it comes to the IT world, right?
Mm-hmm.
IT world is right now. They are, if you apply to any job, they are not just looking for one experience.
mm-hmm.
They are going to scan your resume like crazy
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
to see how many places you have worked, what are some of
Yeah.
the certificate you earned. So I know somebody personally who who um who was in school, but that person got like went into a bunch of certification, and
Mm-hmm.
while they are in school, they are still working in the IT area to build
mm,
Yeah.
that great resume for themselves, so
yeah.
that
Mm-hmm.
you can when I before you can even graduate from school, You already
Mm-hmm.
now establish that great resume for yourself from
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
certification and stuff like that. So that when you apply, the moment you graduate, you apply to a governmental job where you're gonna be working with the CIA or you're working with FBI. You're gonna
Yeah.
get it
Yeah.
because you're not just in school and you're not doing the hand-on-hand basic.
Yeah.
And now what they're looking for with the professional work, because this is we are talking about the professional work, not just
Right.
no, we're not just speaking of working at a common job or stuff like that. We are speaking on things that will benefit you in the future. That when you go into work to a job, you're not tired of paying the money to go to work. Yeah. So this is the topic. So I'm speaking. I'm speaking of just building yourself up on a professional level.
Mm-hmm.
Trade school don't limit you. It
Yeah.
gives you opportunity to explore your role. Even if you don't have a role, but it gives you opportunity to explore and build your resume. Because resume now is identity.
Oh yeah.
It's identity. You like it or not, you don't want to. Before resume was not even a thing,
Mm-hmm.
but now they are looking at resume. You're not getting any job easy without you attaching your resume to that job. It's gonna be very difficult for you to get it.
Yeah.
So it's very trade school is not something to play with. Getting certification is not something to play with. I had somebody who was in college but wanted to also get another opportunity that even if they graduate from college, they can still have another field that they can also base off of. Like she was in nursing and
Mm.
she entered into year up and had a certificate and went through a year and did an internship with a bank as well while she was in school. So tell me now, if she decided to take a year off or not working in the nursing field, you can literally go and work in a bank because you have
Yep.
several opportunities. It will not limit you.
Yep.
It will not limit you today that when you lose one job today, you worry, oh my God, how am I gonna get it? How am I like you're gonna be you're gonna be a job. I don't even want to use the word, but you're just gonna be looking at jobs and just landing on your thing like which one I'm going to today. It's just exploring yourself is about who spoke about it before self-development, trade schools and stuff. Put yourself into it. You see if your college is Samuel spoke about it. The college is offering a lot of certification programs. When you see that opportunity that it connects with your role, you do it. You
Yeah.
do it. Because the more you build your resume, the more you make it easier for yourself to get a great job.
Yeah. For
Yep,
sure.
that's just it.
I mean, that was great. It was great today. Really, really, admire you guys' thoughts on, all of these various points and topics we had. I mean, we can go on and talk about this
For
for the
sure.
long years, but we have to respect time. We have to give
Of
our
course.
audience that time back. But it was great. I mean, like I said earlier, going through all of these topics. Um, we are not any kind of expert. We are expert in
Uh,
our own experiences.
of
Okay, we are
course.
not any professional expert and people out there that you guys can take our word for it. We learn what we learn, and we have come to share our own thought. Give our own fair share our knowledge on this controversial topic. But again, it was great having you guys on the show. I must admit,
For
we really
sure.
had a good time here, discussing this. We might likely have a part two of this topic because it seems that there is still a lot we have to expand on this that the time is not permitting us. But um, we will just give our closing, statement on this, and then we're gonna wrap it up. So let's hear from you. Let me know your closing statement on this. Um, how will you conclude now? Based off the conversation, after everything we are talking about, what would you say, as it relates to this controversial topic? Um, whether school is or is not a scam. Well, let's hear from you. Let's get your final thought on this.
Yeah, I mean, my closing statement. I mean, we have heard every experiences, and for me, for me, my final thought: school is not scam. Yes,
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
it's not a scam. It's just we spoke about different topics of you going into it because you heard it from Samuel, you heard it from me, you heard it from Jusu. These are our experiences. We're not
Yeah,
expert, but we are expert in our own experiences. So
exactly.
it is nobody can come to me today and tell me my experience, why I experience. Like you can't tell me. So it's just you taking these points and knowing that you going into school. Just please take a do research in high school. It's not for, that's why doing your senior year they can give you limited classes to give you time to explore, to
Mm.
prepare yourself to go into college. So high school student, enjoy yourself, oh, but just know you coming into college is not gonna be bread and butter, or it's not gonna just be, oh, because my friend
Not.
going there, so I won't go there, or I yes say damn that school is a party school, like I'm gonna be partying.
Mm,
Like no, bro,
Mm.
it's not
Yeah,
it. The good time's gonna be there a lot. Trust me, y'all gonna have fun, but then your first priority is you going, and this is what you're gonna expect. It's not going to
yeah.
be no easy way about it. But also, we spoke about social lives and we spoke about networking. Do that.
Mm-hmm.
Get yourself involved into school so that you can be able to navigate yourself through any obstacle you're facing, so that
Right.
you can know which department to go to if you're facing this issue, to know who to talk to. Just explore, don't just sit down in your dorm room. If you're going in college, you're going on campus, don't just sit in your dorm room and be waiting for a weekend to go home to your mind pop. Yeah. So man, college is not a scam. Just
Right.
pull yourself into it fully, fully, and not because you experiencing some backlashes, or you getting depressed. Trust me, college people who go to college a lot of time it bring depression,
Yeah.
and trust me, I know how it is. So the only thing you can do is just to get yourself fully into it. Not because you're going through that, then you give up. Don't give up. Talk to people, network, and just explore life, enjoy it, enjoy the failure, enjoy the success of college, and explore into other certification to help you go
Yeah.
into programs, not just because you're in college so you can explore trade school or anything else. Add that onto it if you have the time, and do it, and you will enjoy yourself through it. For me, that's all I have to say. And it was great being on the show, man. I learned a lot. I learned a lot being on the show today.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And thank you so much for that thought and that closing statement, Lemuel. Um, let's take it now to Samuel. Let's hear from you what you have to say.
yeah. Great show, great being with my good friends and brothers. It was a good show. Let me, it was great seeing you again. So
Yeah, man.
let me was talk about something about experience and all that stuff. Let me tell you, let's experience the best lessons.
Yep.
Yeah.
So those of us that have the experience of schools and college and all that stuff, trust me, we are giving you this experience, and those are the best lessons that you're going to learn. These
Yeah,
are
for
things
sure.
that people are never going to tell you. The teachers in the classroom, they're not going to tell you. We're
Yep.
telling you
Yeah.
now. You listen to us because we have gone through those things, right?
Right.
So my final verdict is education is not a scam, school is not a scam. Um and I do understand people frustration on the way sometimes the system is, the way the traditional norms are, and they might have problems with that. But like I said, sometimes you have to find a way to beat the system, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Some people might be looking at the education, they might be looking at the money and they say, look, this thing costs too much money. I don't know if I want to be in this. I want to trap myself into this debt, this amount of debt, right? But look, sometimes you can go to community college and start right off. Community college is very, very affordable. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
I'm going to a community college right now. There are a lot of notions that people have about community college. They're like, oh, you go to community college, it's like, oh, it's not a real college and all that stuff. But trust me, I'm about to transfer to one of the top technology schools in New Jersey, right? I don't know about nationwide, but I was just in New Jersey, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to transfer to that school, right? And guess what? They're taking all of my college courses that I'm taking right now. So if college is community college is not a real school, how that top school they come and take all my courses right now? They're
Right.
gonna take all that courses that I already took at the community college. So sometimes if you don't wanna if you don't wanna trap yourself into that depth and stuff, try to go to community college, right? Try to find yourself scholarships. Try to apply for those scholarships that you can get and get that money. Don't for me, I the same school I'm about to transfer to, right? I got accepted into it when I was in high school. Due to
Mhm.
money, due to I look at all the money, I said, nah, man, I can't afford that. I'm not gonna go there and then end up taking a student loan. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna go to community college, Like I said.
Right.
Also, another thing again, pick yourself a career. Pick yourself a career path that is going to guarantee you a job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen to that. That is going to guarantee you a good paying job. You don't want to go to school for something that you're not going to get. Listen, I don't have nothing against people that doing psychology, right? But trust me, bro, doing psychology, you're just gonna pay a buckload of money, and you're not gonna end up having like a good stable job because
Yeah.
you be a psychologist, right? You're gonna be a therapist. Sometimes
Exactly.
people do that on a private thing, right? Yeah, that's why it pays. It's not always going to always pay you like that. So pick
Yeah.
yourself a career that need people always for that field.
Yeah.
Like me and Juice here, right? We're into the IT field. That's a job right now that need people.
Yep.
Like I said, anybody that get their hands on AI are the people that are going to run the entire world right now. So they always need people. They
Yeah.
always need people into those places that can develop those things, that can like Juice doing cybersecurity. Juice can work at a bank at a cyber level to protect that bank from being hacked and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
They
Mhm.
always need those people in those fields. So pick a field that you can go into that is going to guarantee you to have a job.
Yeah.
My second thing is that my second point was that school is going to teach you that basic development skills, right?
Right.
So those reading and writing and all that stuff, you're gonna learn that in school. Don't say, oh, because I get this little job at Amazon and I'm making $20 an hour, so I'm gonna quit this school thing, right?
Mhm.
Sometime in the future, there might be Amazon might go away. You don't
Mhm.
know. Amazon might go away. And then people
Mhm.
might be looking for people that go to college, that finish high school to get this job. And you over there, you don't have that career again. Sometimes you might even be working at Amazon and they might promote you, right? They might
Mhm.
want to promote you, or you might be looking at some type of promotion at that job. But because you don't even know how to read and write, sometimes the people don't even want to put you there because like how are you going to be managing your
Yeah.
employees at that job?
Right.
How you going to be taking how you going to be taking down records if you don't even know how to read and write? So
Right.
go stay in school, get that basic knowledge. Don't get it stuck in your mind that, oh, I got this job, so I'm good. You always One thing about life, you always have to have it in your mind to try to elevate yourself. Even if you at that job, you gotta say, look, I want to elevate myself to a manager level. If you don't have that business skills, you can go to a manager level.
Yeah.
You can be a manager if you don't have that business skills. I'm sorry, but you have to manage people. You have to keep records and stuff like that. So if you
Yeah.
don't know that, you're not gonna get it.
Yeah.
Also, we were discussing things about the like the curriculum. We understand people frustration about the curriculum, right? The schools also, I know we are over here. We are over here. We're probably gonna be future principals. We know we might want to go back to school. We might want to go back to Liberia to start a school. So sometimes we are also here to want to go back home and start a school and probably change the system back home over there. So it's very important that we try to update these curriculum to the current
Yeah.
life, right?
For
Because
sure.
things are changing every day. The way we learn, the things that we know, things are changing every day. Even when it comes to computers don't just stay. Like the things that people learn about in the 60s about computer, we're not learning those things today. We're learning whole different new things today. So even in the computer fields, there are things that teaching every year, every second. Every
Right.
AI wasn't here 20 years ago. AI
Nope.
wasn't here about 10 years ago. These things wasn't here 10 years ago. But colleges now are providing courses for AI to learn AI and all that stuff. So people that have that are thinking about going back home to start a school, because in Liberia we need to change the system really bad, right?
Yeah,
Because
for sure.
like I said, we can be in 2025, we'll still be learning Blama and Konado. I'm sorry, I've been out of high school almost 4 years ago now. Almost 4 years ago. And I was in the US and I graduated high school in the US area. I've been out of school 4 years ago. And so all my time in grade school in Liberia, we read
Yeah.
Blama and Konado. We can still be reading Blama and Konado in Liberia again, man. Let's be serious for once.
Morning, Kasama
So
Park.
let's try to update these curriculum. Let's try to make new changes in our system that that
Right.
students are going to be able to learn new things every day, that student minds are going to be develop on new things every day and all that stuff. So in the end, education is not a scam. But
Yeah.
listen, I also want you to get out of that. I also want people that watching right now to get out of that mindset that, look, education, especially the people that believe, look, if you go to college, you're gonna be successful. College don't guarantee you
No.
success.
No.
Success.
No.
Also, it's kind of depend how you define success, by the way,
Yeah.
because there are a lot
Right.
of things that go into success, right?
Right.
But if people are thinking about that success about making money, college don't really guarantee you that. However, college do guarantee you to have a maybe a job.
Mm-hmm.
It puts you ahead of the line. Basically, let's say if you're
Right.
in a line of job, it puts you ahead of that line, right?
Right.
College do put you ahead of that line, but it don't really guarantee you to have to go make millions of dollars. So don't always think about that. Don't always think, look, I have to stay in school to make millions of dollars, because that's how people can think. People think, oh, if I go to school, I'm gonna make buttload of money. No, there are a lot of things that you're gonna learn from school you're probably not going to learn from anywhere. You're gonna find it difficult to learn from anywhere. So get
Yeah.
out of that mindset that, look, if I go to college, I go to school, I'm gonna make a lot of money. So just try to
That's true.
educate yourself
That's
every
true.
day. Try to find different ways that even if the system is against you, you can able to beat that system and all that stuff. Like we have been discussing about the vocational schools, about the about stuff like certification. Put yourself into those fields, man, and try to get those basic education and be you can self educate yourself and all that stuff. The
Yeah, for
classroom is not the
sure.
only place. The classroom is not the only place you can learn, but
Yep.
school is very important. School is not
Yep.
a scam. School
Yep.
goes a long way for you, and it's gonna benefit you a lot. And over to you, boss.
Yeah, awesome, man. I mean, this is really going great. I really love the responses from all of you guys. Sorry. Um, the responses from you guys. It was awesome. Having you guys on the show. I think my take on this would just be, I think school is not really like a one size fit all kind of thing. You know, it just it depends what style you find yourself, and like we said, it's not really a scam, honestly. Even if you think it is a scam, it's just how you see it, and maybe just what works for you best. Um, but overall, it is um you don't need to look at it the way the world gonna look at it, all right? You as an individual, you need to be intentional about it. Um, whether you want to go to a traditional school or you want to go to a trade school or you just want to do online learning, you want to read books, however way you want to go about acquiring your knowledge, it's up to you. You just need to be intentional about it because there are people who are successful in on the flip side, either side of the spectrum. So um that's just it. But you know, you just need to prepare yourself. Whatever you want to do in life, be intentional about it. And if you want to go to school, be intentional about going to school. If you want to find an alternative means of acquiring knowledge, be intentional about it. Um, but don't look at it the way the world look at it. You should look at it the way you feel is important and how you see it. In order to be successful in life. So, um, I mean, it was great having you guys on the show today. Samuel, Lemuel, thank you guys for showing up. I know this thing came at the last minute for Lemuel, but it was able to turn out anyway. And for you, Samuel, it was great having you, man. I mean, we're gonna have a lot of stuff to talk about on the show. I mean, from what I see, um, you guys are very vibrant, and you guys are one of those people out there, that are creating an environment for many of our young people out there to look at and follow. And I really appreciate what you guys are doing a lot more. Um, I mean, we here too. We doing what we can do, but it is a great thing to always have this conversation for we young people to, sit and meet and talk, and give our own knowledge and ideas about these things. So, I want to thank you guys for joining us today. Even though my colleague, Alfred could not be on the show, but it was great having you guys to join. Also, for us to discuss this topic. Maybe we might have a part two of this topic. We will see. But there are many more to come. And I know the audience kind of love what we discussed today, and many things we talk about resonate with a lot of people out there. But again, like we said, if you guys enjoy the show, please share this with some people out there, with your friends and family. And let's hear what you guys think also about what we talk about today. And with that, we are not leaving you guys. We will be here again tomorrow, Sunday, for our biblical show, the Bible giveaway show tomorrow, 9:30. And we're gonna be giving away
How
three
many
dollars.
pennies you're
So
doing again?
it's gonna be 300 pennies still. We haven't been lucky to have a lot of winners yet, but last week Sunday we didn't have we had a very serious technical difficulty. Hope this Sunday we can kind of get things quitting out, but we really want you guys to win. And to all of our amazing winners for the last two Sundays, um, they received their prizes, and it was great really interacting with them, outside of the platform. And we want to see more winners tomorrow too. So join us tomorrow 9:30. We're gonna be here again live on Facebook, doing our Bible show. And also we're gonna be here next week. Next week Saturday, we're gonna be here with another amazing episode, another amazing topic to discuss. And hopefully we can have Lemuel and Samuel on the show. If not, we will do our best to have them on the show, and some other people too as well. But if you want to be featured on our show, you want to be part of the show, please reach out to us, let us know, inbox us, and we will be glad to have you on the show discussing some real life controversial topic. But with that being said, we want to say thank you guys for joining us today on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, wherever you are watching us from. This is the Jew and Fred Open Map Podcast, and we bring you the best of the best controversial discussion. This is where we discuss real life topics, things that are affecting our surroundings, things that are affecting our young people. And these are topics that I rarely talk about, things that people don't find convenient or easy to talk about, and these are things we find easy to talk about. So, but it's amazing to be here. We are glad and excited every time to be here, being on the show with you guys. And that being said, we want to say thank you for tuning in, and keep sharing, liking, and following. And thank you, Samuel and Lemuel, once again for showing up. That we will say we leave you. Peace. Have a great Saturday, and we'll see you tomorrow.
All right, man. Y'all have a good one, guys.